Our wide variety of holiday lights starting at $5 in store only. Find everything you need to get your holidays started with the Home Depot.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fall is in season at Kohl's, and you know what that means. Pumpkins, plaid, and anything that smells like cinnamon. This week, take an extra 20% off decor, home furnishings, bedding, and more. So whether fall is your entire personality or you're just a casual pumpkin enthusiast, the deals at Kohl's are here for your seasonal style. Select styles, some exclusions apply. 20% offer ends October 19th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Automotive Avenues, your family-owned, pre-owned dealership is growing and now has a second location in Sewell. Automotive Avenues brings the power of wholesale to the public. They make financing easy. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. You are still approved. Find out why Automotive Avenues has won customer satisfaction awards for the last 8 years. Discover why everybody loves Automotive Avenues of Sewell on Delsey Drive. Or check out their expanded inventory now at automotiveavenusnj.com. And don't forget, go Birds!
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. And for the first time in 2025, we are inside yesterday's in Marmora. Come on down, hang out with Hennig. We got college football on all the big screen TVs. We got a busy lineup on the show today. Of course, fantasy football conversation with Andy McNamara, as always, coming up at 1:25. 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta will join us coming up at 2:20 today. Also, rising star in women's boxing from South Jersey, Lewandowski. She will join us at 12:30. And joining me on location is Alex Berrardis. Alex, welcome to Hanging with Hennig live at yesterday's in Marmora. How's it going?
Doing great, Josh. Got a big weekend of Philly sports planned ahead. Flyers tonight, Eagles tomorrow. No more Phillies, but I think the question here yesterday's is it Marmora?
This is Marmora.
I feel like there's always an argument whether it's Marmora, whether it's...
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I feel like I always hear pushback on Marmora. Look, I've lived in Marmora back in high school, so this is my turf over here.
This is your turf?
Yeah, I do claim yesterday's
You claim this?
Yes.
David,
yes, I do.
And, of course, yesterday's is the place to be to watch all the games. Of course, tomorrow for the Eagles game, you don't know what I want to miss on the game day menu with the pork roll and egg omelet Sammy's, the buffalo chicken nachos, the jumbo wings. I personally love the tailgate tray, which is the 2 smokehouse sliders, the jumbo wings, the Philly steak egg rolls, and the fried pickle chips. But that's just my personal preference. They got you covered every Eagles game day with the sound on here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. And I guarantee you they will have the Flyers game on tonight here at yesterday's. And you can hear the Flyers as well and the Eagles right here on 97.3 ESPN. We are streaming live on YouTube and X as well in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Also, we got a very great surprise for everybody. So coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, my former co-host, Dashawn Hendricks, for years, we used to co-host shows on 97.3 ESPN. He is making a special guest appearance today. He will be with us for about 1 o'clock to maybe about 2:20-ish. You know, he's a busy dad. He's doing God's work, so I understand he's not always available, but we finally nailed him down to come and join us today. So it'll be the 3-man weave, and I don't know if you know this, Alex, but at 1:25 will be a moment.
A big moment.
Because me, Andy McNamara, and Dashawn will all be on the show at the same time. That is 60% of the winners of the 97.3 ESPN Fantasy Football League over the years.
I would say I would be coming up to be one of those winners, but team's not looking so hot this year.
Why do you want to make a trade? We can discuss that later.
Yeah, all fair.
Let's get to the real particular, because I know for a lot of people, you know, I was listening to the locker room with Billy Schweim on my way in here on 97.3 ESPN, and they were talking a little about the Phillies, and I got to tell you guys, I am not at a point where I can handle too much Phillies talk anymore. Like and we'll get to it. I know Dashawn's got a lot of takes, a lot of opinions on that situation, but I want to start with the Eagles, because the Eagles have a very, very, very interesting game tomorrow. Tomorrow, when they play the Vikings in Minnesota, could tomorrow be the make or break moment of the season? And here's why I say that. Mike Gill was talking about this yesterday on the Sports Bash here on 97.3 ESPN, but the idea that this Eagles team, if they want to avoid the 2023 comparisons, right? If they want to avoid those constant analogies, tomorrow is one of those games where you can break that mentality. You can break that perspective. And we'll get into the why they're having the issues they are, but I don't know about you, Alex. I feel like tomorrow is a must-win for Philadelphia.
100%. This NFC is starting to pick up. We got teams like Tampa Bay. The Rams are still there. Like, there are a lot of quality teams in this conference, and the last thing this Eagles team needs is the Carson Wentz revenge game tomorrow, because Carson Wentz is the active starter for the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. And, yeah, if you just want to right this ship, calm everybody down, say, hey, we're a very quality football team, tomorrow is a must-win game. Now, I'm not saying the season's completely over. I still think, regardless of what happens tomorrow, this team can very much well make the playoffs and probably will make the playoffs. But to kind of just calm the nerves of the team, the locker room, especially the city of Philadelphia, they got to come out on top tomorrow.
And I think part of the way you come out on top has to do with the news that came out yesterday. If you saw my article on 973ESPN.com, I put out there, Alex, the news. Andrew Van Ginkel is out for the Minnesota Vikings. He is their best pass rusher. So to me, this is a key moment tomorrow. Can Philadelphia take advantage of a Vikings defense that is a bit shorthanded? I fortunately slipped to the Bengals. That's one of the points I have on my notes today. But when you look at this game tomorrow, you got to beat a team when they're shorthanded. There's never going to be a scenario where you're going to beat a more shorthanded Vikings team. The Vikings are on their third string center tomorrow. They're without their best pass rusher. If you can't beat them now, then you got a lot of problems.
And this is arguably the easiest opponent the Eagles have for the next upcoming weeks, right? Like the Eagles got a bit of a gauntlet coming up here.
Well, so they have the Giants next week.
All right.
And that's, I wouldn't say it's a gauntlet, but that's a revenge game.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the situation where when you look at the reality of Philadelphia, right? When you look at the reality of their struggles, you could argue the defensive problems have been due to injuries. No Quinyon Mitchell, no Jalen Carter last game. That definitely hurts you.
No Nolan Smith.
But the offensive side of the ball, that's where it's a little more complicated, right? The offensive side of the ball is where it's a little more like, how do we manage this? Because for the Philadelphia Eagles, the offensive side of the ball is where everybody still is. You really only lost Mekhi Becton. I don't care what anyone says. Mekhi Becton was not that important for this team. Yeah. Mekhi Becton was a good player last year, but before he got to Philadelphia, he wasn't a great player. He was just a player. So for me, I don't look at the Becton situation as the reason why you're struggling now. I look at it as a symbol of a larger problem, which is like 2018, like 2023, for whatever reason, in the Howie Roseman era, every time they go to the Super Bowl, they won 2, they lost 1. They have every year done a gross miscalculation at some position on the roster. In 2018, well, they made 2 gross miscalculations in 2018. The one gross miscalculation was they thought their receivers were good enough, and they were, and they had the trade for Golden Tate in the middle of the season. In 20, what's that?
He was a dog there at the end of Golden Tate.
Well, he was, but you didn't. Maybe
not to win a Super Bowl, though.
Not to win a Super Bowl, right? And then they also thought that they could easily replace the Frank Reich in the game plan room. Remember, Frank Reich had left to be the head coach of Indianapolis. And you could argue that, I've listened to Chris Longtham a lot on the Greenlight podcast, but it took them half a year to find their identity in 2018. Well, the 2025 Eagles are starting to look like the 2018 Eagles, a team that's still finding their identity. Well, what happened this year? Milton Williams, you didn't really replace him. You thought Moro Ajomo was going to do the job, and he's been okay, right? Josh Sweat, you thought that Nolan Smith and J.L.X. Hunt were going to replace him. Well, Nolan Smith, as you mentioned, Alex, is injured. And J.L.X. Hunt, he's still learning how to play football. And now Zadarius Smith retired out of nowhere. Yeah. And so now you're down to Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche. Like, no one's getting excited about those guys on the defensive line. And by the way, you know who you're going to see tomorrow? The man who you should have signed in free agency. He should have been your number one priority, but you let the fan base down, Isaiah Rodgers. You're telling me you couldn't give him that guy a 2-year, $8 million deal? Of course you could have. But Philadelphia miscalculated. They misevaluated. They thought Kelee Ringo was going to be somebody. Well, you know what? I'm tired of being told that fill-in-the-blank player, Kelee Ringo, Brett Toth. I'm tired of being told, Alex, these guys are going to be somebody.
Well, I think the common theme between this season and that 2018 season, which you did bring up, was they thought they could just not get rid of, but just let go one of their coordinators and just replace him and let everything be fine and dandy.
Right.
Kevin Patullo has been awful. And I think that has been very apparent as to why this team does not have an identity. I was listening to Kurt Warner talk. He was also agreeing. He was saying this team does not have an identity, and for successful football teams, they have to have an identity. On this offense, you have no idea what they're trying to be right now. It seems like they're trying to be a passing team, but they're just being very unsuccessful at doing that. But what led this team to such success last year was the run game. And now it just seems like they can't even get through the offensive line. It just seems like Saquon Barkley just gets bundled up in the backfield every time he looks for a run. And I always bring that back to the coaching, the game plan, the scheme. As Lane Johnson said in his locker room interviews, we're just playing too predictable right now. The defense knows exactly what's coming every time we snap the football.
609-403-0973 is the text support. How concerned are you about tomorrow's Eagles game? Or do you think this is a must-win game for the Philadelphia Eagles? Josh Hennig, Alex Berrardis, live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, which I got to tell you, being inside, sitting where we are, and I can look across, and I got some of the games of the Football Friday show that I picked here on my YouTube and X platforms at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. One of the games I'm watching is the LSU Vandy. I'm also watching the Georgia Tech Duke game, but that's because I'm a college football nerd. So
this is a great setup here. We got how many? 5 TVs right in front of us.
5 TVs in front of us. Yeah, you got what is that over there? Arizona, Houston, on to our far left.
Houston just scored a touchdown.
Of course they did, because you said something. It's all your fault.
Duke just got a turnover. Michigan.
But let's get it back to the Eagles. You mentioned about the coordinators. I'm glad you brought that up, Alex, because the coordinators are a big part of this conversation. I think Nick Sirianni is symbolically an individual who does not like to be surrounded by people who are smarter than him.
Which is weird because to me, I've always looked at it as this Eagles team under the Sirianni regime has always thrived with good coordinaters on the offensive and defensive side. So I've always looked at this Eagles team, and I think it's been pretty apparent where Sirianni's just kind of the rah-rah guy. He's kind of the coach that he's going to make his players want to run through a wall for him.
Right.
And I'm not seeing that on this Eagles team. So then, Nick, if you're not able to do that and you're letting Patullo run the offense and you're letting Vic Fangio run the defense, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? If these guys look just defeated out there, they don't look like they're looking to play football. I think there's some problems going on in that locker room that these guys just aren't. I don't know if they believe in them anymore.
Well, I don't know if they don't believe in them, but I think the problem is that everyone likes Kevin Patullo. And sometimes when everybody likes somebody, they're too afraid or they're a little passive when it comes to being critical of them. I think there's an element to this team where they're afraid to be judgmental or pushy or about Kevin Patullo. I think that's part of the problem here. I think that a lot of these guys, they like Patullo, they appreciate him, but nobody wants to come out and say the obvious, which is maybe he should not have been the choice for offensive coordinator. Or if you were going to make him that, you bring in a veteran on the coaching staff to mentor him. The one time Philadelphia, the Nick Sirianni area, brought in an experienced play caller from the outside, what did Kellen Moore do? He also brought a veteran coach with him in Doug Nussmeier to be the quarterback coach. Every other year, it's been Sirianni's boys and his friends. Well, guess what, Sirianni? Your boys and your friends are not helping you. It's like a weird relationship where you have an individual, they're dating a 6. They could date an 8, but they're comfortable with the 6. Nick Sirianni is more interested in being comfortable with Kevin Patullo than he is having an 8 and elevating himself.
Is there a chance that they're just not looking to get, if things keep heading, south and south, they're not looking to get rid of Patullo just for Jalen Hurts' well-being so that they can just be like, oh, Jalen Hurts doesn't have now, 7 offense? If they were to move on from Patullo and replace him as an offensive coordinator, what would it be, 7 now?
It would be 7 in his tenure in Philadelphia.
Like, is that a possibility where they're like, we're sticking with Patullo no matter what's going on because we cannot just keep giving this guy new guys talking in his ear?
I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I'm not anti that idea. I think part of the problem is that when you're thinking about Philadelphia, right? When you're thinking about this organization's history, if you're so concerned about Jalen and having all these coordinators, then you should have planned for that better. You should have had a better infrastructure. You should have been in a situation where you put everything together. You know what I mean? I feel like when they promoted Brian Johnson in 2023, when they promoted Kevin Patullo this year, I think it's a little bit of ego for Philadelphia. I think Sirianni, Howie Roseman, I think that because they've got the success that they have had, that they think that they are beyond reproach. They are, and by the way, this goes for Jeff Stoutland too. The fact that Jeff Stoutland thought that Brett Toth and Matt Pryor were good enough for the offensive line, I'm sorry, Jeff Stoutland may be a future Hall of Famer, and he's been an amazing offensive line coach, but that dude deserves blame too. I think there's a lot of blame to go around for a Philadelphia team that's not as talented as last year, whose coaching staff is not as good as last year. And I point to the entire organization. What did Jason Kelsey say years ago? It's the whole team, right? It's the idea that the whole organization has put us in this predicament where, you know what? You didn't keep Becton, but maybe you should have traded for someone better than Kenyon Green. You know what I mean? Who's not even here anymore.
Yeah.
He's in Baltimore on their practice squad. Here's how bad Baltimore's offensive line is. They need Kenyon Green, and we couldn't keep him. But this organization said, Brett Toth, Matt Pryor, they're good enough. This is an organization that said, Mill Williams and Josh Sweat left. We're good enough. Being good enough is not a strategy for success. And Philadelphia has chosen comfort over success, Alex.
I want to say this now also. I am not down on this. I'm not down. I am not out on this Philadelphia Eagles team. I still believe in these guys. I think that this is not a 2023 rerun again.
Sure.
They are going to right the ship. I firmly believe that. I'm a Jalen Hurts believer. I like Jalen Hurts. I do like Nick Sirianni. AJ Brown, this whole situation. Is this all what this is stemming from, do you think? The whole AJ Brown fiasco?
No, I think it's stemming from two things. One, I think Petula is a horrible play caller. I think that he does not have a good feel for the game of football. And number two, I look at it as the offensive line is not as good as last year. Dickerson, he's not healthy. Lane Johnson's not healthy. Juergens is not healthy. At some point, when 3 of your 5 offensive linemen are not healthy, and then Jordan Mailata got absolutely whipped by Brian Burns on Thursday Night Football. I mean, Brian Burns treated Jordan Mailata like he was a high schooler in that game. So now you're left with Tyler Steen. And Brian Baldinger was on with Mike Gill this week. And, Baldy, he played offensive line, Alex. So he said the same thing that I heard Greg Cosell say on the Inside the Birds podcast. And they got 2 different people saying the same thing, right? Tyler Steen is a good player, but he's nowhere as good as Becton, and that's a problem.
Well, the problem also, when you list off the offensive line that the Eagles have, it's going to get nothing but worse because this might be Lane's last year. So, if you're game planning and trying to set up for the future, that left tackle position, you have probably first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest left tackles in the league.
Right.
That clock's ticking on him. So Howie's got to pull some strings, work some magic to get this O-line beefed up again. Because that was you always correlated the Eagles for the past, 5-10 years, best offensive line in the league. Stoutland University. And we just haven't seen that. It's been very disappointing this year.
It's been very disappointing. And that's why I say I think Stoutland deserves a part of the blame here. Because, he's also the run game coordinator.
Yeah, but he also has to work with the guys that are given to him. Brett Toth, he just might not be coachable. It just might be a
but see, I'm going to push back on that. We have been told the coaching staff loves Brett Toth. We know that Stoutland likes the guy. Well, again, it's back to the Kevin Petullo thing. You may like someone, you may appreciate someone, but guess what, Alex? You have friends that you would never want to work with, right?
Correct.
You have friends that you would never hire to do certain jobs, right? They're your buddies, they're your boys. You like them. You'll go out and have drinks with them. You'll go out and hang out with them. Heck, maybe your one buddy's in a stable relationship. You want to double date with them, right? You and your girl. But you will never, ever, ever, ever want to be in business with them. And that's the difference. People like Brett Toth and Kevin Petullo, they're so well liked that it's almost like people are afraid to be honest about them. And that's a problem.
I feel like Howie Roseman does a pretty good job. He's not to say cutthroat, but I always feel like he's going to do whatever is best for this football team and this organization, no matter what. But who knows? We'll just have to see.
Text board is open at 609-403-0973. Again, we are live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora, hanging with Hennig 12 to 3 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. Let's tap in on the text board. We got Evan from Little Lake Harbor chiming in on the text board. He says, Eagles are going to play just as bad as last time they played. You heard what the players were saying after their last game. I can't wait. Well, see, that's not true. So he's attributing something to the players. He says 1 week is not enough to fix the problems in the locker room. Well, a couple things Evan and Lily covered. Number one, no one said they can't get away. They can't wait to get away from these guys. That was not said by any player in the locker room. I listened to every single player after the game. Lane Johnson, Dallas Goedert, Joy Mailata, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen. No one said they wanted to get away from each other. I suffered through the Exciting Mike's podcast as well. No one was against working and being alive. So Evan and Lily Harbor, obviously you listen to other shows or other programs that put false narratives out there, okay? The reality is that what did the Eagles say after the game? To a man. Everyone said the same thing. We got to play better. We got to execute better. We're too predictable. That's not a team that doesn't like each other. It's not a team that hates each other. It's a team that realizes that their destiny is in their own control, Alex.
I do think this mini bye week that we've had couldn't have come at a better time, though. And, the coaching staff, Kevin Petula, they did say they had a long talk with the offense, and they're going to figure this out. Well, you got to prove it this week, because if you can't prove it this week, you're going to start losing guys left and right who start believing in this team.
Live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, along with Alex Berrardis. I'm Josh Hennig. We're hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up on the other side, we'll be talking with women's rising star in the boxing world from South Jersey, from Berlin, New Jersey, Drexel. She went to Drexel for college, and now she is undefeated early in her career. It is Leah Lewandowski. She will join us coming up on the other side. Of course, Hanging with Hennig is being brought to you by Boxing Insider Promotions. They are back with another action-packed event at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, Friday, November 7th. Leah Lewandowski is one of the many top-tier fighters, rising stars in the boxing world who will be on the fight card that day. Don't forget about Justin Figueroa, the super welterweight, just won his first championship belt this past summer. It'll be his first fight back in Atlantic City, along with heavyweight from Afghani High School, undefeated Bruce Selden Jr., plus internationally top-ranked heavyweight Otto Whalen makes his return to Atlantic City. Those are just some of the great fights that are on deck Friday, November 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com for the biggest boxing event of the fall season, Friday, November 7th. Boxing Insider Promotions, Larry Goldberg. This is his 6th event in Tropicana. It's always an exciting fight card, and we invite you to join us at that night, Friday, November 7th. Coming up on the other side, we will talk with the rising women's star. She was in the Olympic trials just a couple of years ago, and now she is undefeated coming off of her first technical knockout. Leah Lewandowski joins us next, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle, and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN tomorrow as the Eagles travel to face the Minnesota Vikings.
He's going for Barkley, and it is caught by Barkley down the far sideline, and he is in for the touchdown.
Excellent play call. And Jalen Hurts drops a dime right into Barkley's lap.
Pre-game coverage begins at noon. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
Wow, what's this? New flannels, new jacket, and new boots? Did you go to the Hub?
I sure did. They have all the clothes needed for the cold weather.
Do they have anything for me?
They've got women's shirts, boots, jackets, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia Boot, Rocky, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. Be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Camber, and Wigwam. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also visit online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel and boots for men, with a limited selection for ladies as well. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Fun times are popping in the Pines at the Piccalilli Inn. Stop by today from 11 to 3 for their Fall Classic Car Show. Then stop back Sunday for the Fall Craft Market. The Fall Classic Car Show features hundreds of classic cars and hot rods and fun for the whole family. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the original Piccalilli Inn. For details, follow the Pick on Facebook.
If you can't stop in, stop back. The Piccalilli Inn.
Right now, when you buy more carpet at the Home Depot, you save more. During our Buy More, Save More event going on now. Upgrade your carpeting with top brands, then let us install it for you with prices starting at just 49 cents per square foot. Select from a wide assortment of carpet to fit your room, lifestyle, and budget during the Buy More, Save More event at the Home Depot. Offer valid October 16th through November 2nd, 2025. Base price for standard installations only. Excludes Traffic Master and stock carpet. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Celebrate the touchdown trade-up sales event now at Matt Black Kia. Bring us your trade and get up to $3,000 over book value with the purchase of any new Kia. Plus, drive today with 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months and 0 payments for 90 days on every clearly marked Kia in stock. Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released. If you have a job clearing $450 a week, then we want to get you approved today. And with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy, you simply can't make a mistake at mattblackkia.com. Call 215-703-8526 for details. It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berrardis live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora here on 97.3 ESPN. And, of course, we want to remind everybody, we are talking about a lot of the Eagles, but one of the biggest Eagle fans I know is Mike Ronichetti from Mike Seafood. Don't forget about the Mike Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism, Saturday, February 14th on the boardwalk in Sea Isle City. Whether you run or walk, you can support the Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism. Visit polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. because any day you can do something for children with disabilities, it is a good day. We are efforting to connect with Leah Lewandowski right now on 97.3 ESPN. But before we get to her, so my phone is blowing up, and I'm only bringing this up because Billy Schweim is belligerently texting me. And here, I'm going to address this, okay? So the texter, Evan in Little Egg Harbor. Now, I'm going to read his text again, all right? I'm just going to read it. He said, let me find it here, okay? He said, you heard what the guys were saying after the game. I can't wait to get away from these guys. Now, Evan in Little Egg Harbor is extrapolating and projecting the opinion of one person onto the entire 53-man locker room and the 18 players on the position, the practice squad, and the 20-some coaches in the organization. Now, Billy Schwein from the locker room on 97.3 ESPN, he's trying to tell me through text message that the issue is that Saquon is one of the team leaders. And because Saquon said that I need a break from these guys, I need to get away, we need time off, that is a symbolic representation of the entire team. Listen, there are some people in media who do that game. There are people on television. There are people on other radio stations. They will extrapolate what one person said and said that represents the whole team. Well, this is the problem in today's society. And I can say this because this is my show, okay? Just because some person says it doesn't mean that everyone thinks that way. Because if it did, well, then what's the point of me talking here on 97.3 ESPN? All right. We have got her, the rising star in women's professional boxing. She is undefeated from Berlin, New Jersey. Drexel graduate Leah Lewandowski joins us right now here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Leah, welcome in. How you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Before we get to anything else, I want to know from you because, you know, being a woman's fighter in a sport that is very male dominated, for you, what was the moment that you realized I can do this? Like, I want to know from you, like, obviously you've been doing tons of training. You were an amateur for a while. You competed in the Olympic trials. Now you're a professional boxer. What was the moment along the way? Was it a training session? Was it a matchup? Was it a situation with your coach, Milton? What was the moment that you realized I belong here?
It definitely revolves around who you keep as your company. Starting as a female in combat sports, I knew I wanted to compete since day one. And it's funny because looking back at it now, the real coaches were the ones that believed in me since day one, and the ones that are like to have the facade of being a coach and knowing everything about combat sports were the ones that kind of like put that stigma against me for being a woman. But I never thought I would be going pro when I first started. I mean, as a woman, I always wanted to learn how to fight just for self-defense reasons. And I wanted to do amateur fights basically to put that knowledge to the test. And I met my boxing trainer, Milton Davis, along the way, of course. And he took me to a couple amateur boxing shows. And then, you know, he wasn't saying, like, you can do this, you can do that. It was more so like statements, like, once I take you to the nationals for boxing, you know, Olympics around the corner, we'll try out for Olympic trials, and then win, lose, or draw, we'll turn you pro. And for a while, I was just shouldering it off, but it just came down to one day. And again, I met him when I had one amateur loss under my belt. And he's like just saying how I'm going to Olympic trials and going to be professional. And then after so much of me just shouldering it off, he just one day talks to me for having a heart-to-heart for maybe like an hour or two. Basically, I guess one of the best advice I've ever heard, like, if not you, then who? You know, we're all human beings. Anyone can do it.
Leah, you mentioned about the idea that, you know, your coach, Milton Davis. I think one of the most fascinating stories is how you met your coach, Milton Davis, because you didn't actually go into this to be a boxer. Like, you You were at a completely different, like, you went to Drexel. You didn't go to Drexel for, like, sports management or something. Like, your entire life has taken a very, I don't want to say a sharp left turn, but it's definitely different than what you expected. So tell everyone how you met Milton Davis, who's one of the more well-known coaches in the boxing world.
Yeah, so when I first started combat sports, I actually started in MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I feel like when people think, if they're not in the fight world already, I feel like the first thing people think of when they think of fighting is the UFC. So I, of course, started with MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, and Milton happened to be the old boxing trainer of some of the fellow students of mine over at South Jersey Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so that first fight that I lost when I met him, it was actually a kickboxing fight. And a couple kids I guess not kids, but a couple guys from South Jersey Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they were on the same fight card as me, and they pulled Milt out of retirement to help them get their hands ready for this kickboxing match. And they basically just invited me to get some extra work in with him. And then before you knew it, I've been competing in boxing ever since.
We're talking with Leah Lewandowski. She is currently 2-0 with her next match on Friday, November 7th. Of course, it is scheduled for a 6-round bantamweight matchup against Chantel Sumrall. Of course, Leah is from South Jersey, Drexel graduate. So for you, being able to fight in Atlantic City, what does that mean to you? You know, you already have fought in Philadelphia. Now you're having a chance to fight actually in South Jersey this time.
It's a great feeling. We have our family boat docked at the Golden Nugget Casino, and it's just, just like a weird, different type of feeling in a great way, I guess. Like going through, when we go to the shore, it's more so like a chill, relaxed time. And then being able to point out all the casinos that I have fought at, I will fight at, I want to fight at. And it kind of feels like I'm like leaving a little piece of me, like in every little landmark over there.
I'm not going to let you get away with that. You just slept in every casino I have fought at and I will fight at. That's a unique level of confidence. I don't think people appreciate, because, it's the idea of, you speak it into existence, right? If you believe you can do it, you're more likely to accomplish it. How much of that has been key for you to get the mental side of the game tuned up?
It took a long time for me to, in terms of the mentality, be where I am today. And I still need some work with it. But it depends all who you associate yourself with. It's one of those things where people who don't believe in you and bring yourself down, basically just got to kick them out of your circle, because you just don't have the time for that. And then you always want to keep people by your side that support you and want to lift you up higher.
Hey, Leah, Alex here. I always marvel at how much preparation and how much fight goes into these fight camps leading up to fights. I personally
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I've personally never been in one. I was just going to say, could you give me and the listeners, how much like blood, sweat, and tears actually goes into those fight camps?
Fight camp is the worst part. I'm sure a lot of other fighters can agree with me, but the fight itself is the easiest part. It's quick. You get to go home and actually just chill for a day. But fight camp, it depends for everyone, I think. But the way my coach and I roll, again, I've only been boxing for a total of maybe 4 years. And to go from having no fights at all to nationally ranked, Olympic trials, and now professional, we kind of took the speed route, compared to people who've been doing it since they were kids. So just that, dedication, I guess, that grit and that grind. I was lucky enough from when I graduated college, before finding a solidified job, I actually I was able to move my schedule around to fit in training for the majority of the week and then work on weekends. So I had to change my whole lifestyle just to squeeze in the training for boxing to get where I am today. So, we're trying to fight as much as we can, as much as we can find fights and so on and so forth. So I guess my fight camp, I think it's technically year round. Maybe I get a week off right after a fight, but other than that, we're in the gym twice a day, most of the week.
Leah, one of the things I heard you say in a previous interview was about how, your coach Milton Davis and your training partners, that they push you so much that it almost has become to a point now that when you get into some of these fights, that it almost like all slows down for you in some ways. And it's almost like, when you get to the actual fight itself, like, not that it's easy, but it's like, wow, like I actually already went through the worst part. Is that a fair assessment that like your training has gotten to the point where once you get into the ring on Friday, November 7th, the Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City, that part is actually going to be really where the fun begins?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the training's the worst part. I guess another reason of why I chose to do this, I mean, I've never had or did any individual, I guess you could call it, type of the sport before. I've done team sports, as a kid, like softball, soccer, basketball. But once doing a sport like this, where, your progress, your efforts, your results, end of the day, it all falls on you. Like, you are the only person in that ring against another opponent. So it's all, mostly mental, I think, on top of the physical, but to have, the intense training and to do it by myself. And if I slack off, that's completely on me. I don't have anyone else to look to back me up in the ring. I can't tag team anyone. So just going through that. And then by the time it actually gets to the fight, 2 or 3 minute rounds, 4 to 6 rounds, it's just a breeze.
Couple more for Leah.
Muscle memory at that point.
Oh, absolutely. Muscle memory is a huge part of for any athlete training. The more you do it, the easier it is to just replicate it during the game, during the fight. Leah Lewandowski, of course, from South Jersey, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. A couple more before we let you go. You're fighting at bantamweight right now, which I believe is 118 pounds in the boxing world. Mm-hmm. Do you foresee yourself potentially growing into another weight class, or do you think this is the weight class? Because I know a lot of fighters, when they get started over time, whether it's male or female, they eventually grow into the full person they're going to be, and they can't always stay in the lighter weight class.
I mean, I'm supposed to be fighting at 114, 115. During the amateurs, I would go as low as 110. I think since the amateurs, it is a little bit harder for me to get to 110, especially since just, during the process, I gained a little bit of muscle. So for this fight, we were originally looking for an opponent of the flyweight class, but couldn't find anything in time. So, I mean, end of the day, I wanted to get that fight in. So we were a little bit more flexible with this one.
Do you want to stay at bantamweight? Do you prefer the flyweight class? Explain to the audience, is there a weight or a scenario that you are more comfortable in?
I am more comfortable at the 115 range, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, this fight is listed at 122, but from 115 to 122, at least for the types of people I've been sparring, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds really makes a difference. But this will be my first professional fight, possibly even amateur fight, fighting at 122. So we'll see how it goes.
Leah, before we let you go, I want you to tell the audience, everyone listening on 97.3 ESPN FM, everyone who's tuned in on YouTube and X listening to you right now, I want you to tell them when they come out the Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City Friday, November 7th, what can they expect to see when Leah Lewandowski walks into the ring?
I'll never disappoint. I have people tell me that, I was the last person they would ever expect to become a fighter down the line. But once in that ring, the way I've been told my eyes just look, locked in, dead focus, and just going with the flow, it'll be a good show. We have a lot of killers on that card that night. I'm so excited to be part of the event, but it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, it's always action-packed. Boxing Insider Promotions, always a stacked card. And Leah Lewandowski, 6-round bantamweight is the scheduled matchup against Chantal Summerall. And, of course, you can catch her Friday, November 7th, Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City. Of course, you can check her out also on social media. Give her a follow on Instagram to follow all of her training and all of her progress. Leah, I appreciate you jumping on, making the time. I know you got a very busy day ahead of you, so I appreciate you carving out some time. We'll talk again soon.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Josh Hennig here, live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora here on 97.3 ESPN. You heard me mention Tropicana, Atlantic City. We will be back at Tropicana, Atlantic City next Saturday at the Gridiron Pit. Of course, you want to level up your game day at the Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, and indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks and spin the big wheel of prizes every Saturday and Sunday throughout the football season. The Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table, located near the cashier's cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older to play. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll check back in on the text board, see if anybody else is mad at me, like Evan, Lil Egg Harbor, or like Billy Schweib. Here, Josh Hennig hanging out with you, not afraid of anybody, here on 97.3 ESPN, along with Alex Berrardis here on site. Nick Earnshaw back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. And coming up in the next hour, Dashawn Hendricks, my former co-host for years, will join us as well. Hanging with Hennig live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN FM and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight. 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
They score on the rebound. Owen Tippett.
It's Flyers Wild tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Flyers hockey all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. 97.3 ESPN.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana, Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season. Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole-home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wow, what's this? New flannels, new jacket, and new boots? Did you go to the Hub?
I sure did. They have all the clothes needed for the cold weather.
Do they have anything for me?
They've got women's shirts, boots, jackets, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia Boot, Rocky, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. Be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Camber, and Wingwam. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also visit online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel and boots for men, with a limited selection for ladies as well. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
The Home Depot has everything you need to turn your home into a beacon of holiday cheer. So whether you're going all out or just adding a few holiday touches, we've got you covered with trees, yard decor, and more. Save time decorating with one of our easy-to-assemble pre-lit trees or pick up a piece from our Yuletide Lane decor collection and fill your yard with holiday joy. Whatever your style, find everything to get your holidays started at the Home Depot.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, along with Alex Berrardis. We'll be joined by Dashawn Hendricks coming up in the next hour here on 97.3 ESPN. I can confirm there is one person, at least not mad at me, Alex, and that is George in Summers Point. He says, Josh, I want to let you know I am not mad at you. He says, I want to talk about the Phillies and the rest of the National League. It seems like the Dodgers are going to rip their way to another championship, so don't feel so bad the Phillies result against them. However, George Summers Point says, I love the however. He says, I do put a lot of blame on Dombrowski for doing nearly not enough to better this team from last year when we had plenty of opportunities off-season and before the trade deadline. My question is, do you think that Dombrowski will be able to change his team into one that will contend with the Dodgers, or is he ready to retire himself? A lot there from George and Summers Point there. I will say this. I do agree with George, Alex. I blame Dombrowski for a lot of things because he's such a pompous, egotistical schmuck that he goes around and just has this condescending attitude toward anyone who disagrees with him. I don't understand why this guy, why he has to be that way. It's just not necessary. And George Summers Point is right. For example, you could have added Pete Alonso last offseason. You're telling me Pete Alonso would have looked great in the Phillies lineup this year? Of course he would have. I understand they didn't want to trade Andrew Painter, and I think that's where the rub is. The reporting out there is that every team in baseball, when the Phillies called, asked about Andrew Painter. And apparently the Phillies said no so much, people stopped taking their calls. So I don't know. Is that a fair representation or not of the team? But I think it's a good question, Alex, which is how much blame does fall at the feet of the man who constructed the roster?
A lot, but not all. I thought Dave Dombrowski dropped the ball on this Phillies team last trade deadline. Going back to last season, with the collapse against the Mets and everything like that, that team was just not good enough to win it. This team that was constructed this season, I do believe was good enough. They just fell flat. But he could have still added more last season. He could have added a bit more this season.
Right.
But at the same time, he still has given you Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. those guys he has given you, those are quality number one guys on any team, maybe except for the Dodgers, but on any team in the entire MLB. Now, going back to the Painter thing that you mentioned, I don't care what he looks like. He has to be on that opening day roster. With how much you've said, no, he can't be moved. This is our guy. I've been hearing this guy for, it feels like 4 years now.
Yep.
This is our guy. He could be pitching a 8.7 ERA. I don't care. He has to be in that opening day roster.
We'll get to more of the Phillies coming up the next hour because when Dashawn Hendricks joins us, we're going to have a whip around. I'm going to ask Alex. I'm going to ask Dashawn. I'm going to ask all of you listening on 97.3 ESPN. Text in at 609-403-0973. I want everyone to give a hope meter. How much hope do you have for these Phillies sports teams? Because right now, we're all pretty depressed. We're all pretty miserable. The Flyers have won one game the entire year. The Phillies can't hit in the postseason. The Eagles have lost 2 straight. And our hopes are pinned on the idea that Joel Embiid decided to play in a preseason game.
Edgecombe gave you 27. 26, however much.
He's Alex Berrardis. I'm Josh Hennig. Hanging with Hennig live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Come down and watch college football with us if you have an opportunity also to win prizes we will give away a little bit later in the show. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN.
This Sunday morning, the Locker with Billy Schwein will be back broadcasting live from the Scala's Beach House in Brigantine for our Eagles pregame show. Join me, my agent at the beach, Mark Grimes, Mr. Negadelphia, PJ Corda, and Josh Hennig. The Birds look to stop their 2-game losing streak, and we'll get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson. Brought to you by Blitz's Market. Hour 2, my fantasy football guru Brian Hartley checks in. Brought to you by Charlie's Bar. It's the Locker with Billy Schwein live from the Scala's Beach House in Brigantine, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
We know that Halloween candy isn't great for the teeth of our little goblins and ghouls, but it's not actually the sugar that causes cavities, it's bacteria, and sugar digestion creates bacteria. So what's the best and worst choices for Halloween candy? A big no-no is gummy candy because it sticks to the teeth and gives that cavity-causing bacteria more time to form, especially bad for kids with braces. Sticky treats like lollipops are another candy to avoid because they basically bathe the mouth in sugar. Remember, be picky if it's sticky. Our best bet? Chocolate, because it washes off teeth easier than other types of candy. Make sure your kids brush after they indulge, and limit candy after Halloween because it just might play some unwanted tricks on their teeth. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
It's the ACUA's Recycled Art Contest. Create art from recyclable or trash materials and drop it off at participating Atlantic County libraries by October 31st. Winners awarded at ACUA's America Recycles Day celebration in November. Visit acua.com/art contest.
Automotive Avenues, your family-owned, pre-owned dealership is growing and now has a second location in Sewell. Automotive Avenues brings the power of wholesale to the public. They make financing easy. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. You are still approved. Find out why Automotive Avenues has won customer satisfaction awards for the last 8 years. Discover why everybody loves Automotive Avenues of Sewell on Delsey Drive. Or check out their expanded inventory now at automotiveavenusnj.com. And don't forget, go Birds!
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Ultra, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Ultra helps Mike fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs, so he can wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him. It's a sack.
Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora with all the college football games on the TVs. 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Swatch virtual studio. Nick Earnshaw back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Alex Berrardis for the full 3 hours. But as promised, joining us, I've been trying to get him on the show. He's my former co-host. He's been too busy doing God's work. That's Dashawn Hendricks is live on location with us on 97.3 ESPN. Dashawn, it's good to see you.
How you doing, brother? It's good to be back. It's good to see you too.
So I don't mean that in jest. I always tell people Dashawn is busy doing God's work because you're a full-time dad, you're coaching your kids, you're working, you're a busy man.
Yeah, man, I try to keep myself busy, but always I'm tapped in. I listen to you guys during the week. I listen to you every weekend. And obviously we've been talking off air for a while now, and it's great to be here.
So I wanted to purposely save some of the Phillies conversation when you get here, because for those who don't know, Dashawn is as much dialed into the Phillies as any of the teams in Philadelphia sports. And we just had a texter who jumped in. We'll get to more football stuff later in the hour because Andy McNamara for our fantasy football conversation, he joins us every single week at 1:25 here on 97.3 ESPN. But for Dashawn and Alex, we're going to do a little bit of a three-man weave here because George from Summers Point, he texted in just a little bit ago, and he made a comment that I very much agree with. I put the foot of the blame for the Phillies' failures the last couple of years at the foot of Dave Dombrowski, because this pompous, egotistical, condescending old man loves to talk down to everybody. He loves to tell you what he did in 2006 and 97 and what the Cardinals did in 2012. He loves to tell you what the Braves did in 1990. And it's like, Dashawn, I am tired of hearing about what happened when I was in high school and when I was playing Little League. I want to know what you're going to do now for the Philadelphia Phillies. So to me, at the top of the heap of blame is the man who keeps building the roster and keeps telling me that we're good enough when obviously we are not.
Well, I mean, you got to first of all give him his props, right? I mean, you got the colossal failure that was Ruben Amaro Jr. With all the moves he didn't make and moves he waited to make. And then Dombrowski comes in and, you know, Bryce Harper signed. And you start getting guys like Zach Wheeler. And it started to build something that ultimately culminated back in 2022 into a team that can finally compete and get to a World Series and have some success. The problem when I look at the Phillies, in all honesty, is that, you know, you get to the World Series, you lose. Okay. You know, the next year you kind of choked, in my opinion, in the NLCS. You know, you have 2 home games to kind of get back to the World Series, and you don't get past the hump. And then last year with the Mets debacle, you got the New York, you know, jumbo with the Knicks beating the Sixers and then the Mets beating the Phillies. And then this year was supposed to come together. This was supposed to be the year that the Phillies were back on top. They closed the regular season hot, and then you go into the playoffs against the Dodgers team that, yes, they have all that talent with their pitching. They have, you know, righty-lefty guys that can hit it out of the park, hit it all over the ballpark, but you still are missing that juice in the lineup. And to come back to your point, yes, that is on Dombrowski. You know, you got guys that you know that aren't producing in the postseason. Why not give the lineup a jolt? And then I was really upset. You know, I'm very high on Justin Crawford. I think that he is a kid that could have really gave them some juice down the stretch. Now, what he could have done in the playoffs, you never know. He's a young guy, but
no, but you got to at least give the guy an opportunity. Like, to me, you get 2 call-ups in September, all right? And Alex, let me ask you real quick. If I told you the 2 call-ups, instead of it being Tim Mazzei and a third-string catcher, Garrett Stubbs, instead of those 2, you called up Andrew Painter and Justin Crawford. Wouldn't we all feel differently about the Phillies back in September?
Well, yeah, I think that's just been the big question mark. It's like, why haven't these guys been called up yet? Like, is there a problem that we're just not – now, yeah, Painter had that kind of collapse midsummer where he wasn't looking like himself. Crawford, though, I see no reason why he couldn't have been thrown into that outfield rotation. But I think some of the guys caught fire, though. Like Max Kepler caught fire. He was fighting for his job.
What Dombrowski said is that when we bring up Crawford, he wants him to play every day. He doesn't want to be a part of rotation.
Let him play every day.
And that was my point, because I said it a couple of weeks ago. I said, even if you would have brung him up and he had a okay kind of run with the Phillies on the main roster, you got something to look forward to. Right now, we have more questions than answers going into next season, and this has been something that we've kept asking about the Phillies of what are they going to do to finally get over that hump and win another championship. After that run they had from 2008 to 2011, the Phillies were pretty much irrelevant for almost a decade. And now you're getting back into that, well, this old core is kind of breaking up soon with as far as their talent, not their contracts. What are we going to do to keep this fan base engaged in the Philadelphia Phillies?
Dombrowski could have, to start off this offseason, he could have made some big changes, and so far he hasn't. He's keeping the entire coaching staff with. I'm not like pissed that we're keeping Topper. I like Topper, but I would have been more than okay with, hey, we just need a different voice in the locker room.
Topper's not the problem.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not like pissed that he's back, but I would be okay with just a different voice coaching these guys.
But here's the thing, like, if you think the manager is the problem, then you're not acknowledging that the roster was poorly constructed. To me, if you want to say, hey, this move by Thompson, right? Taking Luzardo out, putting Kerkering in the final game.
Well, that was terrible.
You want to criticize that? I'm fine with that. If you want to criticize a couple of years ago when he brought Kimberlin into that situation, I'm fine with those criticisms. But that doesn't mean he's a horrible manager. It just means he made bad decisions in certain moments.
Well, nobody's saying he's a horrible manager. I've been.
You know how many texts I see at 609-403,
I'm talking about on this panel.
0973, calling him Rob Zombie.
I've been listen. I don't think the guy is the guy for the job anymore. Me personally, I'm not a proponent of calling for people to lose their livelihood, but he'll be fine. He'll find another job. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that this current regime of coaches and players can get it done. We've seen this story. It never ends well. It ends in more questions than answers. Something's got to change. And as you alluded to with Dombrowski, he's not making any moves. So it starts with him, and then it ends with the players. So I don't know what they're going to do. I said it before. I got excited at the end of Game 3. They let me down.
We all did.
I'm sorry, Game 2. They let me down. Game 3, they won. I was excited. Game 4, I'm literally watching to the end. And when I seen the ending, I said, this is Phillies baseball of my lifetime. This is Phillies baseball of my lifetime. This is what I'm used to seeing as a Philadelphia Phillies fan.
You used to being disappointed.
Yes.
I would have liked to seen Kevin Long, the hitting coach, not in Philadelphia anymore. Dombrowski said the whole coaching staff staying here. I think if you were going to get rid of one guy, it had to have been him, because every postseason, pitching's amazing. Last year, Zach Wheeler gave you one earned run. Bats couldn't do it. This entire postseason run, except for Game 3, bats couldn't do it. Kevin Long, I think, had to be a change.
And what do you do with Schwarber? I mean, Schwarber has this amazing season, but are you going to pay him? Is he a guy that you're going to hitch your wagon to again with one of these guys that a part of the boys club with? I just don't see it. I think.
Well, here's the problem. How do you replace those home runs, those RBI? Like, because we all know, and even Dombrowski admitted it in the press conference, Bryce Harper is not MVP Harper anymore, right?
That was a scary comment.
Okay, yeah. So how do you replace 132 RBI? How do you replace 56 home runs? Because guess what? As much as I also want Justin Crawford, he ain't getting 132 RBI. He might score you 100 runs, but he ain't getting you 132 RBI.
No, and you got to ask yourself here, the Phillies, who are the two bats going forward that you can rely on to the next 5 to 10 years, a righty and a lefty. The problem is they don't have any power right-handed.
Which goes back to my idea that I brought up last week here on Hanging with Hennig. You move Rice over to the DH spot because that's usually the natural progression. You go to the field, then you go to the first base, and then DH. Then you bring in that big righty from New York, Pete Alonso, and then just slot him right in where Kyle Schwarber was, and then you have that righty-lefty combo.
I like that. Will Dombrowski make that move? Because again, this is the subject of everything we've been talking about. Will Dave Dombrowski finally start making moves for this team to win and not just stay competitive?
He's Dashawn Hendricks along with Alex Berrardis. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig, live on 97.3 ESPN from yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Of course, it's the best sports bar in South Jersey. I'm also very glad to see Georgia Tech covering that 1.5 point spread over there on the screen right in front of me, selfishly over here. Now Vanderbilt's covering the 7-3 lead.
How about Diego Pavia?
Hey man, you get how many times have you and I talked about? Give me the competitive quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Give me the grinder. Give me like these cute little quarterbacks. Because I remember, for those who don't remember, so Dashawn and I used to was hanging with Hendricks and Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Mm-hmm. And so shout out to Mike Gill for constantly naming my shows. But it's the idea that you and I used to rip into Josh Rosen all the time because you were like, he's too pretty, he's too nice. Yeah. You're like, give me some weirdo, give me some nut job, right? And like I remember when Jaden Daniels came out, you and I were like, that's the dude, right? Yeah. That's the kind of guy you want. Like Diego Pavia is just like he's a shorter, lesser version of Jaden Daniels. He's a guy that guys follow. He's a leader. He runs around. He'll try to truck somebody. You know, he's probably going to be like Andrew Luck and have like 20 concussions or whatever. Oh. But, you know, still, you know, he's a grinder. Like, oh, my God. That was a hit on Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, I'm not very high on him. The kid last night that played against Louisville.
Oh, Carson Beck in the fourth.
I've always been so out on Carson Beck. I've never been a Beck believer.
And the Alabama kid, I think he's good. I think a lot of people are just excited
he's
to see Alabama football back on track. I think he'll come down to earth too. I mean,
I have a question for you. I'm a Penn State graduate, just graduated from Penn State.
Okay.
God bless your heart.
Yeah. Drew Aller. Where do you
I
put
like
him in that?
Aller because of the tools and the physical. Like I like what he could possibly be. I thought he should have came out last year because people were talking about in a weak draft class. He could be a first-round pick, and he could have literally sat behind one of these veteran quarterbacks in the National Football League and kind of got some experience. You go back to Penn State with all these expectations, and now the injury happens. I don't even think he goes in the first 2 rounds if he comes out this year because of the injury scare. And also, they tried to make it a bigger moment than it was against Oregon when he kind of had some comeback yards and stuff like that. I like Aller. I can't talk myself into him being a first-round quarterback.
Just got to give my buddy Jake Ketchuk a shout out. He was a guard at Vanderbilt. I asked him, I said, what do you think on Pavia? He said, kid's a beast. Dude is an absolute beast. He's him. So
as I said, we have all the games and all the TVs. Of course, yesterday's is the place you want to be because let me tell you about these game day specials. You know, of course, tomorrow you got the beverages, the Miller Lite Drafts $3.50. The pitchers are $12. You can get buckets of either Surfside, Stateside, High Noon, Sun Cruiser, 6 for $45. The Arnold Palmer Spiked Iced Tea Lemonades for $7. The Game Day Bloody Marys for $8. Don't forget the Game Day menu. The pork roll and egg omelet Sammy's, the buffalo chicken nachos, the jumbo wings, or you can just get the tailgater tray, which offers you smokehouse sliders, jumbo wings, Philly steak egg rolls, fried pickles, all for $29, all on one big tray. And you only get that at yesterday's Creekside Tavern Marmora with the sound on for every Eagles game. The best sports bar in South Jersey. That's where we are at today here on 97.3 ESPN. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Coming up in about 10 minutes now, we'll be joined for Fantasy Football Conversation with Andy McNamara. Let's get back to the Phillies, guys, because they got to make a move. And I don't know if you guys saw the article from Matt Gelb from The Athletic where he says that they're going to trade Castellanos. And I got to tell you, I don't care if you got to pay all $20 million. Just get his rear end out of here. That man is a cancer. That man is a petulant child. And the fact that this organization has been so loyal to him, to me, is a symbolic problem. The fact that you don't have real leadership in that locker room. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I was on a team with Nick Castellanos, as some of the things that he told the media, when the media left the locker room, I would have grabbed him by the shirt, thrown him against the wall, and said, listen, you bleepity blank, you keep in-house stuff in-house. You do not leak stuff out to the media. I don't care if you like Rob Thompson or not. I don't care if he called you out. I don't care what it is. I don't care if someone told you your kid is a dummy, okay? You keep in-house stuff in-house. This entire society where we got to put all of our feelings and our emotions out in the public. No. Be a man. Tell us in-house what the problem is. Don't tell the media. Because I honestly think Castellanos' bad problem hurt this team in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I said this speaking to a buddy of mine the other day. When you look at the Phillies from that run from 2007 to 2011, and you look at the Phillies now from this current little 4 or 5 year run, the only difference, in my opinion, is that other squad actually won a championship.
Right.
This team, like, who would you say Ryan Howard is? Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Who would you say the Jimmy Rollins is?
Trey
Turner.
That's not a good
Who
analogy.
would you say the Jason Worth is? Is it Castellanos? Is it Bone?
Well, just based on that, you just proved that every player on the 2008 Phillies is better than this Phillies
That's
team.
my point.
We did have a Chase Utley, though.
If you're a Phillies fan right now,
well, the problem with Chase Utley is he'd be another left-handed hitter in this lineup with 20 million left-handed hitters.
Exactly. If you're a Phillies fan right now, what do you realistically have to hang your hat on for the next 5 years that say you can win a championship? Zach Wheeler's not getting any younger, and he's coming off a major surgery.
Correct.
Bryce Harper's not been the MVP Bryce Harper that we've grown accustomed to watching. We don't know what we have in Painter. He hasn't come to the majors. Crawford, as much as I love him, he hasn't played in the majors. Everyone is getting older, and no one, and Schwarbaum, as they like to call him now, he had a great season, but again, he didn't really, outside of a couple of bats, he didn't really produce in the playoffs.
But that's one guy.
I think the third base has to be addressed.
Yes.
I love the Alec Boehm. I was a Boehm guy, but I think that's just ran its course.
I got Boehm fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, I think Boehm's got to go. But then you need to find a more than suitable guy to just play there until Aiden Miller is ready.
I'll tell you who should play there, because I wrote about it at 973ESPN.com. My number one free agent target would be Alex Bregman. You need a guy who, first of all, we know he can play third base.
So you want the Phillies to sign Alonso and Bregman? Because which one?
Why not? Why not?
We all do, but I mean, realistically, Dombrowski's not signing both of them.
Well, maybe he should.
He should, but he should do a lot of things.
Well, look, Bregman, though, is the number one guy for me because he's won multiple championships. So you can walk into that locker room with a level of cachet,
But
right?
so is
What about
Trey
you,
Turner.
Alonso Bregman?
Alonso, because to me, I'm okay giving up Schwarber.
Okay.
I'm okay letting Schwarber walk. I just don't think he's doing that again. I'm not willing to give this turning 33-year-old guy a 5-year, $170 million contract.
It doesn't sound like a Dombrowski move.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But no, I do like the Bregman play as well.
Because, I mean, I want a guy in the locker room who's been there, done that. I want a guy in the locker room who can step up and be like, hey, guys, we need to get our you-know-what together.
My thing with that, though, is Trey Turner's won a championship. Kyle Schwarber's won a championship.
Well, apparently it
So
doesn't matter.
But my point is, there's winning pedigree in this locker room. They just haven't showed it, or they haven't.
But again, I think these guys are too nice to each other. Like, when do you think Trey Turner's ever stood up in front of a group of guys and talked in his life?
I don't think he had to.
The guy is just so, like, he looks like a surfer dude at the beach in Ocean City. Like, he looks like a guy who's just, like, chill. He's hanging out. He's playing baseball. And Schwarber, like, he's beloved in that locker room. But do we really think Schwarber is, like, having tough conversations with people?
No, but here's the bigger issue, and I allude this back to the 2008, 2007, 9 team. You had Jimmy Rollins. He was a leader. Chase Utley was a leader. Ryan Howard was a leader. These guys talked, and they, came up together. They all came up through the farm system together.
Right.
They came, and Cole Hamels, another one. Like, those guys built something. And when I look at this team now, it's a bunch of the same type of guys, and it's no one that's an alpha. You know what I mean? I want Bryce Harper to be that, and sometimes he is, but he's on the back nine. And you talked about Bregman. Aiden Miller is coming up within the next 2 years.
Sure.
Do you block him by putting Bregman at third? Where are you going to put Miller? Shortstop?
Well,
Because then he's going to be the DH.
You can sign Bregman for 2 years. Give him a 2-year deal. He's 32 years old.
He seems to want more stability, I think. If you're at 32 years old,
fine,
I
give
feel
him
like
a 4-year deal. I don't care.
But that's the problem, because then you're blocking Miller. And my opinion is that this team is farther away from a championship than like Miller should be
a priority playing sooner than later because this team is not winning a title. I'm sorry. What if you move Trey Turner to second and put Miller at short?
And then what does Bryson Stott do?
Get rid of him.
Really, I'm not out on Stott. But
what does Stott do?
His glove in the field is.
I can find 20 of those guys.
A Gold Glove.
So is Edmundo Sosa.
Edmundo Sosa.
But
what do we do?
Yeah, come on. But if we keep giving out,
you're the one who brought up his glove.
If we keep giving out those long-term contracts like that, you want to give to Alex Bregman, this just kind of sets this team up back to that 2008 team to where once that run was over, it was over. And it seems like if we just keep giving out these big contracts to older players, we're going to be in the same spot we were.
We tried to do what the Sixers did like 4 times.
Well, that's a different conversation. We'll get to that later. Folks, text in your hope meter for the Philadelphia sports teams. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show as well. Josh Hennig, Dashawn Hendricks, Alex Berrardis, live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget, Hanging with Hennig is being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. It's the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action. Earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio20X. Place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open new users in New Jersey are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Coming up, your fantasy football questions with Andy McNamara. It is a special edition of Hanging with Hennig. Dashawn Hendricks, Alex Berrardis with me at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Nick Hernshaw back in the studio. We're all hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN.
This Saturday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It's not just a potential SEC championship matchup. This game has national championship hopes on the line. Lane Kiffin's fifth-ranked Ole Miss Rebels head to the Hedges in Athens to take on Kirby Smart's ninth-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Join Brett Dolan and the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta. It's Georgia hosting Ole Miss.
It's College Football Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by
First Bank of CI.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Right now, when you buy more carpet at the Home Depot, you save more during our Buy More, Save More event going on now. Upgrade your carpeting with top brands, then let us install it for you with prices starting at just 49 cents per square foot. Select from a wide assortment of carpet to fit your room, lifestyle, and budget during the Buy More, Save More event at the Home Depot. Offer valid October 16th through November 2nd, 2025. Base price for standard installations only. Excludes Traffic Master and stock carpet. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Everything costs more these days.
Skyrocketing electric bills here in the Garden State.
And New Jersey is used to paying high prices, but it doesn't have to be this way. With Trenton Democrats in control for the last 2 decades, there is a reason New Jersey's electricity rates are the 12th highest in the entire country. And those prices just keep going up.
$200 more. I know my electric bill. I was shocked. I'm very disappointed. This is killing us.
Failed Democrat policies have caused rates to go up by as much as 20% this year alone. And your electric bill continues to increase as electricity costs continue to rise. New Jersey families are getting crushed with Democrats controlling Trenton. And don't they know it?
It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but if you're a good person, you'll do it.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Vote Republican on November 4th and put some money back in your pocket.
Paid for by Republican State Leadership Committee, New Jersey PAC, 1201 F Street Northwest, Suite 675, Washington, D.C., 20004. Not made with cooperation, prior consent, consultation, or at the request or suggestion of any candidate or candidate's agent.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Boo! Get to Nola's Bar and Lounge in Ocean Casino Resort for an epic Halloween party, Friday, October 31st, Halloween night. Enjoy spooktacular cocktails, live entertainment by Steal the Sky, and a chance to win amazing prizes like tickets to Bush and the Totally Tubular Festival, overnight stays, and much more. Don't miss out on the most thrilling Halloween party of the year. Learn more at theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole-home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back. I want David Putney.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putney just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Everyone knows I'm out of my mind. Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Hanging with Hennig live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora, along with Dashawn Hendricks, my former co-host, Alex Berrardis. Of course, you hear him as a producer in the Locker Room Weekends on 97.3 ESPN. Right now, we have a seminal moment because since the 97.3 ESPN Fantasy Football League started, we have never had a show where 60% of the league winners have all been on at the same time. Yes, Andy McNamara is back. He was the champion 2 years ago. Of course, Dashawn Hendricks is a two-time champ himself. I am a league champion as well. Alex is still indifferent.
That put me in my place. That really did. Like, listen, hearing you list off all these accolades and everything like that, I got to reevaluate some stuff.
Andy, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing good. Pleasure to be on with all you. I got to say, that draft day intro each week gets me every time. It gets me jacked up. I love that's my favorite sports movie of all time. I love it. Give me Putney.
Yeah, everyone needs Putney. Maybe the Phillies need Putney. But let's get back to the football here.
Yeah.
Andy, we got to start with this because obviously Thursday night went differently than a lot of people, not just Browns fans like you, but everyone thought, which is we all were looking in fantasy football I mean, how many people drafted Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown? Even Noah Fayette had a good game. Like, but do we take what we saw on Thursday night from Joe Flacco and the Bengals as what we could expect the rest of the season in fantasy football?
I think yes. Now you'll see that the interceptions come with Flacco. That's par for the course. But the difference was this from the Cleveland time. It was clearly game planning malpractice by the head coach, and the general manager, that whole front office looked like absolute fools for trading Flacco, who looked like he was done. Hey, and the Bengals on paper have a worse offensive line than the Browns. So what did they do? You get the quick release, you make it happen. I don't see any reason why you could not expect this to keep going for Joe Flacco and the Bengals. He's got the horses with the ones you listed off there. And I think it's great news for what we saw for fantasy football owners of those players.
Now, on the flip side, Aaron Rodgers, he also had a good game.
Yeah.
So are we now buying Aaron Rodgers stock in fantasy football, or are we saying, hey, the Bengals defense is probably the 5th worst defense in football. Don't get too excited.
Well, that's part of it. But if we look at what Aaron Rodgers has done, and in 2 QB leagues, I think he's a great second. I got him in one of mine. And we see look, week 1, he popped against the Jets, then 12 points all the way through for a month. And then it came to 17.5 against the Browns, 24.56 against Cincinnati. You got Green Bay, Indy, the Chargers coming up. If you set your expectations at that 17 to 19 fantasy point range, I think you're going to be satisfied, especially as a number 2. Buys are coming up. He's rostered in only 27% of leagues. Still's got the quick release and the big arm. I think if you're in trouble, you could do worse than Aaron Rodgers.
Andy, I want to switch gears to the Philadelphia Eagles and their fantasy offense situation.
Right.
Why should fantasy owners, including myself, have any confidence that A.J. Brown can be consistently productive for the rest of the season?
Boy, it's a case where if you draft a guy like that high, and I have A.J. Brown in one of my leagues here. I'm just pulling up to take a peek. Yeah. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of single-digit production. We had a big pop against the Rams. And, better against the Giants, 14 points. The problem is you didn't draft them to get you 14 points, and certainly not single digits. So if we look at the next set of games, Minnesota Giants by Green Bay, it's a case where I would try to maybe dangle A.J. Brown out to the rest of your league, see if anybody's maybe not paying attention. Maybe they're going on name recognition. There's always a chance he pops. And if you have him, you have to play him because likely you don't have a better option. But certainly it's disappointing. And I would try putting him out on the trade block and see what you can get for him, because right now he's looking below average, which is pretty shocking.
On the flip side, Saquon Barkley has literally done nothing all season long, and he was a first overall pick or top 2 pick in a lot of leagues. How can, fantasy owners feel confident that Saquon Barkley can be worth anything right now? It's like Christian McCaffrey last year all over again.
Yeah, no, you're right. And here's where I have hope and faith for Saquon Barkley owners and Philadelphia Eagles fans. Think about last year, okay? Remember when the Eagles had that couple game blip and Sirianni was, I think it was against the Browns, he was yelling at fans and it was all weird, and he got his kid up for protection with, I don't know. But then they
children human shields.
Shielded, yeah. It's you can't get mad at me. I got a kid here, huh? Come on. But what happened was, what they do? Got themselves right and focused on the run. I believe we are going to see Saquon Barkley light it up. They said, you know what? We got to simplify things. How do you simplify things? You put the ball in your bell cow's hands. And I think we're going to see that starting in next Philadelphia game. I think we're going to see Saquon Barkley get the ball more, and I think it's going to be great news for fantasy football owners. So I believe if we follow the pattern of last year, which worked, that's what we're going to see. So I am more confident in, let's say, Saquon Barkley than I am with, A.J. Brown.
By the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't, because Nick Earnshaw, if you can turn your camera on, Nick is the defending champion from last year. So now we have all of the champs here on the screen. Wow. If you're watching on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig, Earnshaw won last year. Andy won 2 years ago. Dashawn has won the league twice. I've won the league twice. And I think Alex needs to make some trades.
Well, it's my first year in the league.
Wow.
It's like a roast to poor Alex. This is a roast. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, seriously. Andy, I do got a question for you, though. More of a fan perspective rather than a fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
So we did just get done talking about Joe Flacco in the Cincinnati offense. A lot that was in the headlines this past week was Mike Tomlin's comments on your Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Coming from a fan perspective, how are you feeling with, Joe Flacco going to Cincinnati, an in-division rival? Like, give me your thoughts on that.
It was infuriating. The fact that "Thank you, Cleveland" chants echoed throughout all of Cincinnati was incredible. And what it does, it angered me not from Cincinnati, like, oh, they're being jerks, or even with Mike Tomlin. Well, Mike Tomlinson made sense. You're helping out a division rival. Nobody helps out teams more than Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. He is the most giving, loving general manager. He could be GM of the year for 2 different teams now. For the Houston Texans, for that Deshaun Watson debacle, owner had a hand in that, he admitted. But also the Cincinnati Bengals one for a 5th-round pick. For what are you going to get for a 5th-round pick? I'm going to get a 5th-string wide receiver who drops the balls. I got enough of those already. From a fan perspective, it is ridiculous. They look stupid. They look absolutely moronic. That now, by the way, you're going Big Joe Flacco, who you didn't let throw the ball and couldn't game plan enough to figure out how to let him to throw the ball. Cincinnati did. Worse offensive line than you. Cincinnati figured it out. And now what do you have? I have 80% chance of rain, 35-mile-per-hour winds in Cleveland with a left-handed 5'9" rookie quarterback.
By the way, two left-handed noodle-armed quarterbacks throwing in the wind tomorrow. By the way, Dylan Gabriel and Tua Tagovailoa both went to the same high school in Hawaii.
Did
How
they
about
really?
that? Yes, they went to the same exact high school. Apparently, Tua mentored Dylan when he was in high school. So, which probably means we're going to see a high-scoring game anyway, just because what we think is going to happen was not what happens half the time.
They'll both be backups next year.
Oh, Tua's getting traded. I guarantee that. Tua's getting traded.
Dylan Gabriel, guys, when he was drafted, and I was on with talked with Josh right after. I'm still furious. You knew he's a backup. He's a backup at best. At best, he's a backup. At worst, he's a 3rd string. You could have had him in the 6th round or later. There's nothing special about. They say he processes information quick. Tremendous. I can process information pretty quick too. Doesn't mean I can throw over a line or complete passes effectively at the National Football League. It is absolutely maddening when you could have had, I don't know, maybe taken a shot on a 6'5" guy named Will Howard from Ohio State who beat Dylan Gabriel's ass in the college football playoffs.
So you're not big on Shador?
You know what? I want Shador in there. I rather would have taken, if you would have taken Shador in the 3rd, I could have been, all right, I can get around that. Dylan Gabriel, because Shador has an upside. He might bust out. He might be nothing, right? He's running backwards and gets sacked all the time. But Shador might. Dylan Gabriel, you know, has nothing. Will Howard might be a bust. Or Will Howard can run through people and be a leader of men like he was in college. But I know what I got in Dylan Gabriel, and that is 0. I got a backup that I can get any year at any time in any round.
Andy McNamara is the host of the Sick Podcast every Sunday morning. Like, subscribe, download wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, he'll be ranting and raving more about the Browns tomorrow morning over on the YouTube stream. Andy, a couple more fantasy football questions before we let you go. We have more injury ramifications we have to hit on. That being, how about what Deebo Samuel said this week, where he basically said, I'm not going to be healthy at all this year. He basically, even when I play, I'm not going to be healthy. So it's like, well, what do we do with Deebo then? Like, are we going to be able to trust this guy in fantasy football? I mean, we know he's never healthy each year.
That literally he said that. And the problem, too, in Washington is Terry McLaurin's all banged up. Right? So, like, who are we? Like, I guess for one thing, okay, thanks, Deebo, for the honesty. Like, I can try to plan. That's helpful, I suppose, right? But, like, it's a case, okay, how healthy is not healthy? How effective can you be? I think we're going to get a good chance to figure that out this week against Dallas, which, boy, say what you want about the Cowboys, fellas. They are fun to watch. Win, lose, or draw. They are chucking it all up. CD might be back. I think Deebo has a good chance to, if he can, depending on the severity, at least show us what does not healthy mean in this situation. And maybe not being healthy still gets you 17 fantasy points. I can live with that. If not being healthy gets me 5 fantasy points like last week, not so good. And then you look at the rest of Washington, like, who am I playing? Is it Zach Ertz? Is it Luke McCaffrey? Like, they're just banged. Like, they're looking like the San Francisco 49ers as far as how banged up they are. It's crazy.
Andy, what's the better start? Jackson Dart kind of had a bust out fantasy day last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, or is it smart to kind of hitch on the Spencer Rattler wagon?
Oh boy, you know what? Spencer Rattler, I'm surprised in real life football how like serviceable he's been. The Saints are still awful, and he's a backup guy. I would much rather take a shot on young Jackson Dart, who's been popping. He's been electric, and they seem to have something going there, right? Even if you lose, you still got something going. It is against the Denver Broncos. Don't love that, but you might be able to get some garbage time. You might be able to still run around. I would rather risk with the ceiling of Jackson Dart than Spencer Rattler, who outside of the odd blip, like, guy, he's going to get you 12 to 14 fantasy points. Like, okay, I'll take my shot. And if Jackson Dart gets beaten up by the Broncos, I can live with it rather than take the basement that is Spencer Rattler.
I'm a Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka owner in one of my leagues. But this whole injury situation in Tampa Bay is kind of worrying me a bit. Bucky Irving, Chris Godwin, and Egbuka are all ruled out for tomorrow's game, or Monday night's game, excuse me.
Right.
I do have Sam Darnold on the bench. He's playing against the Houston Texans, who have a great defense. Do I stick with the MVP candidate, Baker Mayfield, or do I go with Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold's been pretty impressive overall. I will say he had some hiccups. Okay, we got to look. And Baker, he's got his moxie, but man, this is so much to overcome. His top receiver, Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson, right? Fantasy-wise, I think Cade Otton, by the way, might be a nice little pickup there. Cade Otton might be a nice little pickup as far as targets. But is he going to be able to distribute the ball enough? I think for this week, maybe we chance a Sam Darnold just because of the pieces that are surrounding him. There's only so much you can do, right? So Baker, he might be chucking the ball up, but I don't know. I can't count on the people who are going to be catching it, whereas I think Sam Darnold might be a smarter play this week. But Mike Evans apparently is a game-time decision. How much that makes a difference or not, we'll have to see. But I think we go Sam Darnold.
Andy, plug all the shows that you're doing.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, you get on YouTube right now. The Under the Wire Waiver Wire Pickup Show, you can go right now and check out those before the Sunday games. And then live 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, we'll have the Parlay Party Ultimate Betting Ticket. We'll have your fantasy football start, sits, talk some Browns, Dolphins. And if you have fantasy football questions, you get me on X at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81, Instagram at AndyMCSports. Use hashtag AskAndy. Get your fantasy questions in and jump live in the chat. We love having all you guys in there. So jump in the chat, ask the questions. Let's have some fun.
Andy, always appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy the weekend. And I told you last night, my projection, my formula has the Browns scoring 21 points tomorrow. So that'll be the first time since when?
In the past 11 games, they have not hit 20 points.
The Browns scored 21 points.
Their average points per game has lowered since they got rid of Joe Flacco, who apparently was toast. Lowered with Dylan Gabriel to 13.6.
Yes.
Why are we acting like the Browns aren't tanking? It's the worst kept secret in the NFL. Like, what are we doing?
No, they're accidentally tanking.
They're accidentally tanking. It's ridiculous. Yes. It's absolutely wild.
When Andy watched draft day, it was just all dreams for him.
Oh my God. Alex, I watch it every year. I watch it every year on draft day.
I love that movie.
And I want Sonny Weaver Jr. I want Putney. I want Vontae Mack. Instead, I get the 5'9" Hawaiian quarterback who's going to play in the rain.
Bo Callahan could have been.
I take Bo Callahan right now. I don't care if anyone came to his birthday or not.
I take Sonny Weaver Jr.'s father right now over Kevin Stefanski in any season. This is ridiculous. We've talked more Browns football in the last 2 minutes than I have in my life.
Yes, absolutely. I am with you there. Give me the late, great Sonny Weaver Sr.
Andy, you're the best. I appreciate you, man.
All right, buddies. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Josh Hennig along with Dashawn Hendricks and Alex Berrardis live on 97.3 ESPN. We are yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Next Saturday, we will be back at the Gridiron Pit and Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. The Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, is a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, and indulge in game day and in tailgate-inspired food and drink. Spin the big wheel of prizes every Saturday and Sunday of the football season at the Gridiron Pit. Where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located in the cashier's cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older to play. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll check in on the text board. Get everyone's reactions to all the Phillies comments coming in on the text board. Keep them coming. 609-403-0973. Josh Hennig, Dashawn Hendricks, Alex Berrardis. Live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN.
Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN tomorrow as the Eagles travel to face the Minnesota Vikings.
He's going for Barkley, and it is caught by Barkley down the far sideline, and he is in for the touchdown.
Excellent play call, and Jalen Hurts drops a dime right into Barkley's lap.
Pre-game coverage begins at noon. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food special starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Right now, when you buy more carpet at the Home Depot, you save more. During our Buy More, Save More event going on now. Upgrade your carpeting with top brands, then let us install it for you with prices starting at just 49 cents per square foot. Select from a wide assortment of carpet to fit your room, lifestyle, and budget during the Buy More, Save More event at the Home Depot. Offer valid October 16th through November 2nd, 2025. Base price for standard installations only. Excludes Traffic Master and stock carpet. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Celebrate the Touchdown Trade-Up Sales event now at Matt Black Kia. Bring us your trade and get up to $3,000 over book value with the purchase of any new Kia. Plus, drive today with 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months and 0 payments for 90 days on every clearly marked Kia in stock. Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released. If you have a job clearing $450 a week, then we want to get you approved today. And with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy, you simply can't make a mistake at mattblackkia.com. Call 215-703-8526 for details. It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Wow, what's this? New flannels, new jacket, and new boots? Did you go to the Hub?
I sure did. They have all the clothes needed for the cold weather.
Do they have anything for me?
They've got women's shirts, boots, jackets, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia Boot, Rocky, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. Be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Camber, and Wigwam. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also visit online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel and boots for men, with a limited selection for ladies as well. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Back here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN. As promised, when we get back to the text at 609-403-0973. Trey from Hamilton's trying to play gotcha with me. He says, Nick Castellanos knocked in the only run of Game 4. Harper, I think he meant to say somebody else, but I'm going to say Harper, Turner, they did nothing. But you have an issue with Castellanos. Where's your rant about A.J. Brown running his mouth? Please make sense, Trey and Hamilton. Well, Trey and Hamilton, obviously you do not listen to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. You do not listen to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill. You do not follow me on YouTube and X. You do not track what I say, because I did talk about A.J. Brown numerous times. So Trey and Hamilton, make it make sense why you're making that comment, but apparently you don't listen to the show.
Is Castellanos, is any of his agents or people named Trey? Because this is getting really, really, like, we're undressing this very quickly. Like, he went hard for Castellanos.
Yeah, that's the hardest canyon.
Because when you start to mention, here's everybody out there. When you start mentioning other people in your beef,
right,
then you really feel stronger for the person you're protecting. Because you're trying to convince everybody.
He's protecting it.
Yeah, he's protecting him.
Josh is feeling some kind of way after talking to Leah. At first he said, I don't fear nobody. Now he's calling out Trey for not listening to him. That interview got you feeling some kind of way.
That's the caffeine kicking in. The caffeine's kicking in at this point. I was up late preparing for the show. Jim from Williamstown chimes in and says, here's what I think. The Phillies should keep JT, keep Harrison Bader, get rid of Castellanos, Kepler, Bohm, let Schwarber walk. If you can get anything in return for any of these players in trades, get a young catcher. Pay up for Alonso, get rid of Nola, keep Ranger. Well, you can't get rid of Nola. His contract's too bloated. But Jim from Williamstown basically wants to overhaul the entire roster.
I'd trade Kirkering for an Uber sandwich right now.
Did you guys see the reports that Otto Kemp was playing since June with a fractured kneecap?
Yes.
Well, this is always the time where everyone's playing with everything.
That seems like a critical injury, though.
Seems like a painful injury.
Yeah.
Steve from Vendor chimes in and says, don't trade Bohm. He's going to be in a contract year. He doesn't strike out. He has a great approach, and he's dramatically improved at third base. Harper and Alonso can share and split the first base DH responsibilities. Your thoughts?
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not a big Bohm guy. I don't hate Bohm. I just, like when he was, remember he was an all-star? and then he won.
Yeah,
it was the most fraudulent.
It should have been the doubles derby. With,
Yeah, I was like,
Alec
oh,
Bohm.
okay. Like I tried to talk myself into Alec Bohm. It just never happened.
See, I always liked Bohm, but yeah, the only way I see getting rid of Bohm is if you can bring in a guy like Bregman with Alonso. But if that's not the case, I'm fine.
Joey D and Bentner chimes in and says, "Hey guys, your thoughts on DJ Edgefield? I think he's fierce."
I like VJ. Ace was my first choice, and it's the way he's playing the preseason. It's hard to really go away from that. I'm open to VJ though. I'm open. Nice game.
I like DJ a lot. Doesn't have a knowledge. You know what he does? He does something specific. He plays defense. This team needs wing defenders, guys.
There's just a lot of young guard play that going on. It's a little bit nice to get a young winger.
Let's just hope they don't need doctors.
He's Dashawn Hendricks along with Alex Berrardis. I'm Josh Hennig. We're hanging at yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Coming up, looking forward to the Phillies and Eagles. We'll get predictions from Dashawn Hendricks, Nick Earnshaw, Alex, and myself on Eagles Vikings tomorrow. 973 ESPN.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole-home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hi, I'm Paul. Welcome to Circle.
Circle Fast Food Drive lives on. Donate 2 bags of canned food and get $3,000 off MSRP on any new 2025 Hyundai in stock.
Even on the new 2025 Santa Fe Calligraphy 2.5T all-wheel drive.
This year, we're going to team up with the Mercy Center to help them with their food shortages.
Remember, $3,000 off MSRP, any new 2025 Hyundai in stock for just 2 bags of canned food. Everyone qualifies.
Go to CircleHyundai.com or stop by. We are in Shrewsbury.
Whatever your vision for holiday decorating, the Home Depot has what you need to bring it to life. Like our warm white holiday lights with steady lit technology, so your lights stay glowing even if one bulb fails. Whether you're going for a soft, warm glow or a colorful display of holiday cheer, choose from our wide variety of holiday lights starting at $5 in store only. Find everything you need to get your holidays started with the Home Depot.
Nothing goes better together with championship football and playoff baseball than the Piccalilli Inn. For game time, skip the lame chains and order the Piccalilli Inn's world-famous wings for eat-in or carry-out in 6-packs to go. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 in Chemung, New Jersey. Visit piccalilli.com.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Coming up about 20 minutes now, we hear from 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta. He will join us here on 97.3 ESPN. He will be on the call of the Ole Miss Georgia game, which we'll hear at 3:30 p.m.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big Trinidad fan.
Trinidad Chambliss?
I love him.
It's one of the best names.
I think that he's a Heisman frontrunner in my opinion right now. If he keeps winning, it should be his. I don't think the other kid. I like him. He's 5-star. I know he's going to be good. I don't think he's getting his job back.
Oh, no. Simmons is not getting his job.
Yeah,
back.
I think Simmons is.
Here's the thing. I like Chambliss, but you know the guy I like the most in the SEC right now?
Who?
Taylor Green at Arkansas.
More than Marcel Reed, who's also playing well for Texas A&M. And I like Taylor Green. He's a little green for me, though. See what I did there?
That was not one of your best ones.
Listen, I tried. I went out there.
No John Mateer love. I'm a big Mateer guy.
I love Mateer, too.
I love watching Mateer.
I think he's a first-round pick. I think he came back too soon, though, last year.
He came back way too soon. It was obvious he was having trouble throwing the ball. I mean, come on, you broke your hand, dude. Like, I get it. You want to be out there for the Red River Shootout, but I mean, at some point, it's like, dude, like, if you're hurting your team, you're not helping your team.
I still think they'll end up in the SEC title game, though, somehow, somewhere. I think Oklahoma.
Well, they better win today, because if they don't win today, they are SOL, my friend, for the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Because you can't have 2 losses in the conference and be in the championship game the way that conference is going.
They play Lenoris, right? Lenoris is another guy that I'm big on. So
yeah, take the under in that game.
You think so? I think it's going to be some points.
Shane Beamer is 12-5 at home, and they have hit the under in – I think it was 60%. I got my notes over here somewhere. By 60% of their last 17 home games. So
leave it to Josh has a book of endless, useless stats
this guy knows
that I've
everything
never
about
asked
everything.
for, but he is the most intelligent guy when talking about that stuff. Like, I believe it. I'll never doubt it. I just never wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
I never wanted to hear it. Thanks. Appreciate you. I want to get to some stuff. We'll get back to text board in just a bit at 609-403-0973 because we haven't had a chance to talk about the Eagles too much with you. And, you know, I had said before you got here, Dashawn, that I think part of the problem with the Eagles is this is an organization that every time they've been to the Super Bowl in the 21st century, they've had an experienced play caller, Andy Reid, Peterson/Frank Reich, Shane Steichen, Kellen Moore. But for whatever reason, they want to keep promoting the friends and family plan and keep giving them options to be the play caller. So I want to know from you, I keep blaming Patullo. I think Patullo is not good at his job. I think that just because you like someone, all the players like him, great. But guess what? You and I and Alex all have friends. We don't want to work with them. We like them. We'll hang out with them. But I ain't working on them. I'm not putting a microphone on their head to become on Hang with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. I think a huge part of the problem with the Eagles right now is Kevin Patullo.
See, I'm going to give you one better, and I want all the listeners to hear me when I say this, because I've said this is the problem of the whole Nick Sirianni era, and please don't take this the wrong way. Nick Sirianni is the problem. Do you know why he's the problem?
Why?
It's not anything he's doing wrong. It's what he can't do. If he could call plays at an efficient level and get this, he was hired as an offensive coach. The Eagles, if you look at Jeffrey Lurie's tenure, they want offensive coaches with innovative minds that can really help their quarterbacks go to the next level. That's why they hired Doug Peterson. That's why they hired Andy Reid. That's why they hired Chip Kelly.
True.
Those things intertwined. So because Nick Sirianni, who is a great head coach in this league, I think he is a great manager of everything going on, and he can rally the troops.
He's a great CEO.
Yes, but he is not a great play caller, and his offense, or lack thereof, is the problem with his tenure.
Well, that gets back to the thing really quick. Let me say this. Because I said that basically them hiring Kevin Patullo is the equivalent of being in a relationship with a 6 because you're comfortable with the 6 instead of dating an 8 or a 9 and elevating your game.
Well, I think it's a little ego thing with Sirianni. If he can hire one of his in-house guys to run their stuff but still have his input, then he doesn't take the fall. But if he brings in a guy like Kellen Moore, or let's say Mike McDaniel gets fired and he comes in, or somebody like College that you bring in who has their own offense, who is going to have their own voice.
See, I'm glad you brought that up.
Then that happens.
This is what bothers me because I went back through all of Nick Sirianni's staff since 2021. Aside from Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier last year, there's never been a point in time in the Nick Sirianni era where they have had a veteran coach on the staff.
No.
It's been the friends and family plan with Sirianni. Sirianni just hires people he gets along with. And it's like he never even thought about bringing in a Frank Reich. You know, he used to work for Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
He never brought him in. He used to work for Todd Haley. Never brought him in. Why is Sirianni so insecure about bringing in someone who's smarter than him on the offensive side of the ball?
Because when you are the head coach of the football team, and that's a glaring problem that he cannot call plays. He was hired to be able to come in, call plays, and get this offense back to where they think it could be.
We give him credit in 2021 when he gave up play calling.
Yes.
To Steichen. So we know that he understands he can't call plays. But for whatever reason, Alex, Sirianni is a guy who says, well, it's my offense, and we're going to keep running the same thing.
But, Alex, because I want to hand you off this. If you look at every time the Eagles struggle on offense, it's Sirianni. 2021 when he was calling plays. 2023 when Brian Johnson. 2025 when Kevin Patullo are the offensive coordinators. Notice the struggles are coming from when, in my opinion, he has a big say in the offense.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier, though. Every time the Eagles have succeeded under the Nick Sirianni era, it's been with great coordinators.
Right.
Last season was one of them. This season has proven to be one of those seasons where we don't have a great coordinator, so it's going to be a failure. Not going to. It's leading towards being a failure.
It's trending in that direction.
Yes.
Right.
And like I said earlier, Nick Sirianni is the rah-rah coach. He needs someone who can coach the offense, call plays on the offense, and then someone on the defense to do the exact same thing. He's got that guy in Vic Fangio. He for sure ain't got that guy on offense, though. So then it's like, what are you doing, Nick? Because you're not leading these guys. You're not getting these guys pumped up to go play football every weekend. What are you doing?
You want a name to watch out for that I've said it for years if this Sirianni thing doesn't work out, and I hope it does. I like Sirianni, but we know Howie's relationship with a certain coach, Lincoln Riley, who coached Jalen Hurts in college, who is a offensive guru, in my opinion.
And also was one of the only times Jalen has had a great season.
Passing the football.
Remember, they led college football in completion percentage when he was there. He finished second in the Heisman. Someone explain to me, why have there only been 2 coaches who have been able to get the best out of Jalen Hurts? Why is that?
And those are Lincoln Riley
and Shane Steichen.
In my opinion, because look at the way they call plays, look at the way they use their quarterbacks. I've always said it. When you have a quarterback like that who is mobile, who can make plays with his arm and his legs, but also is smart enough to know when not to take chances, you have to do what. Look at what Shane Steichen's doing with Daniel Jones. I still think that Daniel Jones is
Indiana
not a
Jones,
top quarterback.
baby.
Oh, please save me with that. I do not believe in Daniel Jones still to this day.
I
never will.
But I believe in Shane Steichen.
I believe in Shane Steichen. And the thing with Shane Steichen is that he has proven that he is a A-tier play caller.
Yes. But also goes to show you how bad Anthony Richardson is.
Don't do that. The injuries, the inconsistent play. I think that
he should have never come out in the draft. He should have stayed in college.
He should have came out in the draft. That's why he was a top 5 pick. My thing with him is,
I don't care if you're a top 5 pick. If you're not ready, you're not ready.
He didn't put in the work after getting drafted, in my opinion, to be a consistent pro
at
this level.
I think the Colts mismanaged that from the start.
I agree.
By not letting him just develop.
Exactly.
He would have been perfect to just sit for a year behind, who was it, Gardner Minshew at the time?
If you remember, he was playing well before he got hurt that first year. The problem was when he had a full year now where he's the guy and he struggled a little bit. Now you start benching him. You see it at Carolina with Bryce Young. They have mismanaged his development altogether. Does that mean that
they finally got a new coach in there? and he's now getting the most out of him.
Well, last year, no, they mismanaged him last year because they benched him, and then they put him back in. You can't draft a quarterback in the top 10, play him, then bench him, and expect him to have the full faith of the organization.
Here it is. So, okay. So since Bryce Young was benched last year, the Panthers offense has scored 27 or more points in 90% of their games since he got benched and he became a starter again. So apparently the benching worked.
Do you think the benching worked or the fact that they didn't have anyone else better, so he had no choice to go back to him?
I think it's both. Because, because I think Dave Canales deserves a lot of credit for the job he has done. I think guys like Canales, Steichen, Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, Sean McVay at the Rams, Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, Cliff Kingsbury, to an extent.
Joe Brady.
I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is on the same level as those other guys. Joe Brady, that's a good one. These guys, they go to their quarterbacks and they say, I know what you're good at. I know what you're bad at. I'm going to amplify the good. We're going to work on the bad. Jalen Hurts doesn't have that guy right now. Jalen Hurts has a guy who everybody likes. Everybody likes Kevin Matullo. Hurts likes him. AJ likes him. Sirianni likes him. Everyone likes him. Well, guess what? You know what happens when you like someone too much? You're afraid to tell them the truth. And the truth is, Patullo needs to get his head out of the sand and realize that calling the same play and it's not working doesn't mean it's going to work again just because you execute it better.
Well, the biggest issue, and I've said this with Jalen, and I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. We know that. I think that a lot of people give him, you know what, because he's not the prototypical guy. He doesn't look like Joe Burrow. He doesn't throw like Josh Allen. He doesn't run as great as Lamar Jackson.
He actually throws a better deep ball than Josh Allen.
Again, my point is that he has never had a consistent play caller every single season, right? Like a lot of these guys. And because of that, he is asked to kind of learn new offenses or make something out of nothing every single year. And he's done nothing but have success. As much as we are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and their struggles, and those are fair, they are 4-2 and still in the driver's seat of everything they want to accomplish this season. So tomorrow they have an opportunity against an old foe in Carson Wentz to right this ship and get this under control. They have the talent in Saquon, Devontae, AJ. So they got to get it done.
So do you think, I know you got to get going soon. We're going to break. We got Gino Torretta coming up in a bit. Andrew Van Ginkel is out tomorrow for Minnesota. He's their best pass rusher. Do you, Dashawn Hendricks, believe the Philadelphia Eagles can take advantage of Minnesota without their best pass rusher?
Yes, I think they can take advantage. Will they take advantage? Another story. I believe that tomorrow they will take a lot of chances. Will that result in big plays? That depends on the execution. Last week they could have took chances. It didn't result in big plays because execution wasn't had, whether it be Jalen throwing the football to the right guy or some guys catching the ball or hitting the holes or whatever the case may be in the running game. You got to execute on the field. It can't just be all the coaches. Yes, you have the talent, but those guys got to produce.
Before we let you go, my man, Dashawn Hendricks will be joining us throughout the rest of the football season into the basketball season. And don't forget, he does talk Phillies baseball as well. You know, he's not afraid of that as well. I would probably say you are probably okay. You're not more of a Phillies guy than a Sixers guy, but it's close.
It's closer that people want to admit. I still love those Sixers, and whether they're good or bad, I love talking them. But the Phillies hold a special place in my soul because, again, they were the first championship that I ever seen, so they will always hold that special spot. You got to remember that I'm a young guy.
All right, so what is your prediction for the Eagles game tomorrow?
I think that it will be an ugly game at some point. I do think that the Eagles will find a way offensively to make some plays. I think that Carson Wentz will be the Carson Wentz that we loved to get rid of. He'll turn the football over a couple times. I like the Eagles in kind of a shootout, 31-26.
All right, wow. So he's got the Eagles ending their – that's the most important part. You have them ending the losing streak, and you have them scoring points.
I do. I didn't say all of the touchdowns would be offensively, though. I did say that Mr. Wentz would gift the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of footballs. So they'll get a defensive touchdown here or there. But 31-26, I think that we'll all be talking about how the Eagles got a chance to come home against the Giants and kind of make everybody happy.
Well, I appreciate you stopping out to hang out with Hennig. We'll have you on again as well in the future. I know you got to go do God's work, be a dad, all that stuff, and it's the most important thing. So I appreciate you, my friend. You the man, Dashawn Hendricks. Follow him on X at Dashawn Hendricks is where you give him a follow. What's your Instagram again?
My name, D Hendricks 3 at D Hendricks 3, Dashawn Hendricks.
There it is, D Hendricks 3. And of course, we are live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. And I want to remind everybody, don't forget about the Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism. Will be on Valentine's Day this year, Saturday, February 14th, 2026, on the boardwalk in Seattle City. Register by going to polarbearrunwalkforautism.com, because any day you can do something for children with disabilities, it is a good day. And it's always an amazing day out there. By the way, the most random people show up for that thing, too. I mean, I've seen Jason Kelsey just show up at the start line out there. John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia just showed up one year. Like, people just show up to this thing. So you want to be there for the Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism. Valentine's Day weekend, February 14th. Register right now, polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Coming up on the other side, the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner, Gino Torretta, who will be on the call for Ole Miss, Georgia, coming up at 3:30 on 97.3 ESPN. He joins us next. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN FM and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual.
Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN tomorrow as the Eagles travel to face the Minnesota Vikings.
He's going for Barkley, and it is caught by Barkley down the far sideline, and he is in for the touchdown.
Excellent play call, and Jalen Hurts drops a dime right into Barkley's lap.
Pre-game coverage begins at noon. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop fall savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Samsung. Upgrade your kitchen this fall with the Samsung Bespoke 4-door refrigerator, now featuring the dual auto ice maker with sphere ice, only at the Home Depot. You'll have perfectly chilled drinks for every gathering. Don't miss fall appliance savings at the Home Depot. Offer valid October 2nd through October 22nd, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business. powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Wow, what's this? New flannels, new jacket, and new boots? Did you go to the Hub?
I sure did. They have all the clothes needed for the cold weather.
Do they have anything for me?
They've got women's shirts, boots, jackets, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia Boot, Rocky, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. Be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Camber, and Wingwam. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also visit online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel and boots for men, with a limited selection for ladies as well. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Another busy day of college football. And of course, later today on 97.3 ESPN, following me is going to be Ole Miss, Georgia. Not just a big game in the SEC, but it's a big game for the college football playoff landscape. And the man who will be on the call is my next guest. 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta will be on the call with the Touchdown Radio Network. Gino, welcome back. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing good. And listen, I don't know if you're as excited as I am because this game has so many ramifications. Undefeated Ole Miss, only one loss for Georgia on the year. For you, as you head into this game, is there a storyline? Is there a narrative? Is there something you're looking forward to more than the others?
Well, I think that, having done Georgia last week against Auburn, Georgia's kind of been playing with fire all season. They played from behind almost, it seems like, every one of their games, but then they shut out Alabama in the second half and still lost the game. They only gave up 7 to Kentucky, and they shut out Auburn. So they've managed to not, I guess, flinch, but their offense has not been very productive. But with already one loss in conference, they're pretty much in must win the rest of the season. And Ole Miss, I think they've had probably one of the tougher schedules so far this season. Their starting quarterback gets banged up. He's been replaced by a backup, and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. He's going to Wally Pip him. Yeah. Trinidad Chambliss isn't coming out. The kid's been absolutely phenomenal, running, throwing, running the offense, and it's kind of the first, I would say, run guy that Lane Kiffin has had. Most of his guys are, throw it first, but Chambliss is equally adept with his feet. And to be 6-0 with their schedule is pretty impressive so far.
Before we get more into the quarterback, I got to ask you, because you mentioned Lane Kiffin, and it's so wild to me that a coach with his offensive acumen and background, and for how we call it, zaniness maybe, that this is now multiple years at Ole Miss, Gino, that in the course of the year, it's the Ole Miss defense that suddenly starts showing up in some of these games. What does that say to you that an offensive-minded coach like Lane Kiffin has, for lack of a better term, embraced defense at Ole Miss?
Well, I think he realizes maybe in his maturity of age, he realizes offenses win games and defenses win championships, and there's no truer saying in any level of football. And I think that you're right. His defense, has been stout. Against LSU, they only gave up 19 points, and really they do an outstanding job of, if they'll let a catch in front of them, they just rally to the ball. Good, sure-handed tacklers. Perkins, I'm surprised. On Taryn Perkins, who was All-American, nobody could block him off the edge last year. He doesn't even have a sack, so he hasn't even started getting going. So if the other team, if Perkins starts getting going off the edge, the other teams are in real trouble.
And you mentioned about Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, this guy, he's got a very interesting challenge because you just brought up earlier, Georgia in the second half shut down Alabama. And later as the game progressed, Auburn had no answers for the Georgia defense. So how important is it for Ole Miss to get an early lead? Because the potential of Georgia's defense putting them in a vice grip is coming.
Well, they make, Kirby Smart makes great adjustments. I mean, he's got, back-to-back national championships, and he's obviously one of the best coaches in college football right now because of those halftime adjustments. And, so I think that Ole Miss has just got to be consistent. With Auburn, it was just kind of a weird game. I mean, Auburn was just dominating Georgia the entire first half. They come out, they get down, they're about to go up 17. I think it was 17-0 or 17-3, something like that. And they fumble on a tush push, going into the end zone, and Georgia comes back and goes the other way. So, and it just from there it was bad. So I think that Ole Miss has got to play clean. Can't turn the ball over. Chambliss only has one pick on the year, so I think it's just being clean, consistent, and I don't think Georgia, if they come out slow and try to play from behind, this isn't the team you want to try to come back from against Ole Miss.
Talking with 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta, who will be on the call later today on 97.3 ESPN. Ole Miss versus Georgia kickoff after 3:30 p.m. Gino, speaking of quarterbacks, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the quarterback on the other side of the field from Ole Miss, that being Gunnar Stockton. He's an interesting cat, man. He is not like some of the other quarterbacks at Georgia over the years. He's a little different from, these guys like Carson Beck and others. So what is your perspective on him?
Stockton is thick, and he is a more run-first guy, and he has no problem tucking and run, putting his head down. He is accurate with the ball, but his greatest weapon right now in his development has been actually running the ball. So I think that, that's a little different as a 6'1" guy versus, with Beck, I think he was 6'4", 6'5". Yep. You get these, Georgia guys like Stafford, they're not making their money running. They're making their money throwing absolute dimes all over the field. So I think Stockton's just a little bit different from that standpoint. He's a run first guy, but he's good enough. He puts up good enough stats. I think, to me, they just got to be a little bit more consistent. He has not let it rip and let the ball go down the field. He's got some big wideouts on the outside, and at some point in time, you got to just take a chance and throw that ball up and let a 6'4" wideout out jump a little DB.
And I mentioned before we got into this how Ole Miss 6-0, Georgia 5-1. We could be looking at two teams who, I don't want to say it's an eliminator, but it's potentially going to be a matchup that's going to impact the college football playoff. Looking at these two teams, which of the two do you think would benefit the most from this game today?
Well, I think Georgia. I think there's going to be a 2-loss team in the playoff. I don't think there's any question this season. I think there may even be a 3-loss team, depending on how this schedule, the rest of the season shakes out, because we're just starting to get into the thick of the schedule, and a lot of these teams haven't played but really one or tough opponents. Unlike Ole Miss, they've played a few already. So I think for Georgia, it's they have to win this game. You can't go 2 losses, because then you're borderline. If you get a third, then that's the eliminator. But I really think there's going to be a 2-loss team in the playoffs. So I think Ole Miss has some room to work, since they haven't, since they don't have a loss, and Georgia, you can't lose twice at home. I think that the voters, when it comes down to playoff time, as well as I do, you lose on the road, they'll give you a little leeway. You lose at home, and you lose at home twice, then that's a little bit different in your evaluation of getting put in the playoff.
And so far, Georgia's 2 biggest wins of the year have both been on the road, at Auburn, that you were a part of calling, and of course at Tennessee, that overtime insanity that was Georgia versus the Vols. Gino, I wanted to ask you about a couple other quarterbacks around college football, because I always love picking your mind about these quarterbacks, because we're kind of at a point in the season where I want to say we know exactly who they are, but we have an idea, right, about who these guys are becoming. And sticking in the SEC, I wanted to ask you about Nussmeier at LSU, because this is a guy who came into the year with a lot of hype. He was considered a big-time pro prospect. He purposely came back this year because he was a guy who wanted to improve his draft profile. What is Nussmeier at this point?
Well, I think he's very talented. I think that what Nussmeier is, he's just like every other great quarterback. When you lose 4 offensive linemen from a season ago, you lost a top 5 pick, was his left tackle, 2 other draft picks on the other side, and 1 transfer. So you're replacing 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. I think they've been terrible protecting Nussmeier. They're even worse running the ball. I mean, LSU, when we did the LSU Ole Miss game, LSU's run game was motioning a wide receiver into the backfield with Nussmeier and then handed it to a wide receiver. That's not LSU football. That's not Leonard Fournette. That's not getting in I formation and just pounding it downhill. And I think that, that's why he's struggled. He's gotten banged up. He gets hit quite a bit, but there's not a lot of balance on that team. And I think the talent on that team around him isn't what it was from a season ago, and they're putting it all on him. So, I would say that he's still very talented. To me, they're not blocking it well enough for him. They don't have enough of a running game for him. And, I think teams are just teeing off on him.
An interesting quarterback matchup that will be on later tonight when you are done with the Ole Miss versus Georgia game, which can be heard right here on 97.3 ESPN, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Gino, Torretta, the Touchdown and Radio Network on the call. Tonight, Alabama versus Tennessee. These are 2 interesting quarterbacks to me. Ty Simpson for Bama and Joey Aguilar for Tennessee. And Joey Aguilar has looked better in the Tennessee offense than Nico Amalieva looked last year. So what is your perspective on Aguilar and Simpson?
Well, I think Simpson's probably playing the best of anybody in college football right now. I mean, he's been lights out. He's got 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. Aguilar has, like you said, he has left UCLA and I guess he was there for, I don't even know if it was a semester. It was a few months for spring practice.
Right.
Went from App State to UCLA spring practice back to Tennessee. But he has blossomed in that spread offense of Josh Heupel, and they're probably 2 of the best guys in the Southeastern Conference right now. I'd probably give the edge to Simpson, just how he's been playing, and there's a lot of great matchups. It's awesome college football. That the bad thing is we had to wait this long. We're in the 7th game, and we're having to wait for these matchups that for however the scheduling came out this week or came out this year. We should have had some more in prior weeks.
When you think about also, you mentioned about the landscape of college football. We're in a situation where you have all kinds of teams from certain conferences in the top 25. Is there a team that's not in the SEC that you're saying, folks, let me tell you, if this team gets the right matchup in the college football playoff, they are going to wreak havoc?
Well, team that I thought from the start was USC. I think Mayava is a very talented quarterback. He has a bunch of weapons on the outside. He's got a big offensive line. They got some studs on the defensive front. I think there's enough talent there at USC that they could make a run. Now they got a big matchup, this weekend with Notre Dame, but they're at 20. Which I'm a little shocked at 5-1. Usually USC's 5-1. You'd expect them to be ranked a little higher than that, especially, they're giving the benefit of the doubt to Notre Dame at 13 and they're 4-2. So, I think they are, very solid. I even think Washington's a team that may creep out. They got a young quarterback that keeps getting better. He's only a sophomore. And they seem like, it seems like Jed Fish has got them going out in Seattle. So, I'd probably pick SC and Washington.
Ironically, two former Pac-12 schools that are now in the Big Ten, because that's not confusing.
Exactly. They're from the Big Ten West Coast.
Right, Big Ten West Coast. Exactly. There you go. Speaking of the Big Ten, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about shall I call it the fiasco right now at Penn State with James Franklin getting fired. And, it's just such a strange dynamic, Gino, that, we're in a world now where the headline isn't about the football coach. It's about the money being paid to the football coach. So I want to ask you about the football situation at Penn State specifically. What is your perspective on what is next for Penn State, a school with a ton of tradition, a school that, Franklin came there and did some good things, but he never was able to get them over the top.
Yeah, he there's no question he had an outstanding record, but his record in those big games against top 10 teams was one of the worst in college and over a long time. And I think that the only thing I would say is, listen, that was a tough loss against Oregon. It seemed like they had it, just didn't kind of make some plays, and Oregon made the right plays at the right time. The thing with UCLA, we broadcasted that game as well. If they can, I'm thinking flying from Miami to Los Angeles, boy, this is going to be a stinker. Penn State's just going to take it out on, be angry. But Penn State let the loss at home against Oregon, basically, instead of they lose one game, they lost 3 games. They lost the next one because they weren't focused. They were worried about Oregon instead of worrying about UCLA. And they had a lot better players. I could sit there and watch that game, and all they had to do was just run the ball right down UCLA's throat. They had better size. I thought it was very odd, some of the responses from Franklin at the end of the half. Being down almost 3 touchdowns and then going for a field goal, you're holding the ball at the end. I've never heard of a coach, that's not going for a touchdown when he's got 3 timeouts and a minute and change, and he's got a senior quarterback. He's trying to score a touchdown. I thought was odd. And then the end of the game, the game management. I remember Sandor, play-by-play guy, it was 3rd down. I was like, UCLA's backed up. This is the time you're probably going to take a safety because you don't want to get blocked and give the other team a chance for a quick touchdown. And yet UCLA does exactly what I said. They send the punt team on, and the punter stood in the back of the end zone for 5 or 6 seconds. Well, that's an egregious error in my eyes of coaching, of not preparing your team for the situation that they're in, and then obviously, losing that game and then being out physical against Northwestern. I think that, Penn State had just kind of had enough. They were just, the athletic director wants to win a national championship. To go from preseason number 1 to out of the rankings is a precipitous drop that no one has ever done it this fast. So, but I'm sure they'll right the ship. They have a lot of green stuff they call money, and I'm sure the next guy is going to get paid a lot. But I sure wish the ex-coaching lottery is winning that. It seems pretty good these days.
Well, it's interesting you said that because, I have heard people bring up the idea that, these coaches, the buyouts are so huge that, for some of these coaches, it almost benefits them to not coach again, that James Franklin can go basically, go on television or sit on a beach. Like, he doesn't have to coach again if he doesn't want to. So it's like, for a guy like Franklin who, Penn State was, right, that was like the job you worked toward, right? Because you had Vanderbilt before that. So, I don't even know what would be next look at Jimbo Fisher. He's basically treating, him being, paid to go away by Texas A&M as an opportunity for him to literally go away.
Well, I would say this. Those guys are coaches and they want to coach. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimbo Fisher's on the sidelines next year. I thought he was going to be on the sidelines this year. So he still wants to coach. I'm sure Franklin, I don't know, maybe he might take a step back for a year, but you're right. There's some of that money is so large they don't have to work again for the rest of their life, or they can go be an assistant in the in the NFL. It's a grind. And it's like the numbers are astronomical, but it's a grind to be the head coach at any level. And I think that, we'll see what happens. But, he was very successful, turned Vandy around and was very successful at Penn State. Just like you said, he couldn't get it over the top in a championship.
And before I let you go, for all the Penn State fans who are listening to us on 97.3 ESPN, I'm not going to ask you to predict who's going to be the head coach, because there's so many rumors out there. I mean, it's October. We don't really know what's going to happen in the next few months, right? But what I do want to know from you, Gino, is because you're someone who's watching the sport each and every week, covering it. What is the type of coach? What is the type of personality, the type of mindset that a coach has to have going into a place like Penn State? Because Penn State does have its own unique elements that make it different from other schools.
Well, probably some experience at Penn State, whether it's a coach, player, or a student. I think that would help. I think, for anybody to be successful in college football now, you have to be lockstep with your administration. You have to be lockstep. You have to have, basically a war chest of money. And your collective, your NIL group, however you're paying the players and the resources that are going to the players, because it's not enough to say, hey, you want to come here, get a great degree, and you have a chance to win a championship. That's what the recruiting pitch used to be. Now the next line for every kid is, okay, how much do I get paid my freshman year? So it's got to come with money and financial resources that are going to the players. I think, you say names, listen, Rule, I know obviously he was a walk-on player there. I'm sure they're going to talk to him. He's friends with the AD. Al Golden, who was the head coach down here. I mean, everybody thought Al Golden was going to be the head coach at Penn State, probably, before when Joe Pa left and it became O'Brien. But it was just, that wasn't a great job. I don't know. Does Al decide to leave being the defensive coordinator with the Bengals and go back into college? It's a place he went to school. His wife went there. I think there is a draw, and it is a unique draw, but man, it's one hell of a place to play because they are 100% behind you. And I think all my buddies and teammates that played there, they love going to school there. So I'm sure they're gonna find somebody that can get them over the top.
Well, no offense to Al, but considering the Bengals have one of the worst defenses statistically in the NFL right now, maybe Penn State is the perfect exit plan for someone like him to be like, oh, never mind, this NFL thing doesn't work out for me. I was going back to college.
Well, you know what though? Your defensive stats in the NFL, when your offense stinks, your defensive stats, they take a hit too.
That is true, but still, it's like I always go back to guys like the Bobby Petrinos and the Nick Sabans that suddenly had an epiphany, right? They were like, oh, never mind. College is where I belong, right?
Yeah.
Again, no offense to Al Golden. I don't know him personally. I'm not trying to besmirch his name, but I'm just saying it's funny to think about how, the guy who goes to the NFL doesn't work out, and then conveniently there's a landing spot for them in college. He's Gino Torretta. He'll be on the call. Ole Miss, Georgia, later today on 97.3 ESPN. Kickoff right after 3:30 p.m. and the Touchdown Radio Network. Gino Torretta, 1992 Heisman Trophy winner, will be on the call. Gino, always appreciate you making the time. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, Josh.
Gino Torretta, thanks again to him for joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. So, Alex, you heard the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner. What do you think about what he had to say about your Penn State Nittany Lions football team?
A lot of good things, but also a lot of things that have also been said for years and years and years. Coaching miscues, questionable play calling, and just not being able to win the big game. And, you know, my 4 years there, James Franklin obviously was the head coach the entire time there. Not that I was calling for his job, because you never want to see a guy, you know, lose his job, but even though he's going to be paid pretty well, you know, losing his job. It was time. He was on the College Game Day broadcast today. He had an interesting quote saying, "I thought we were going to win a national championship. That goal hasn't changed. We're just going to win a national championship somewhere else now." So his plans are, he's looking for his next job, which I don't blame him, but I thought he could have had a nice career at broadcasting.
Listen, you know, you heard Gino say it. Some of these guys, it's just they love coaching so much that it's just in their blood. Doesn't matter the money or other opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands, but also be interesting to see, is it Al Golden? Is it Matt Rule? Is it Greg Schiano? Or is it somebody we haven't even named yet will be the next Penn State head coach? We'll be talking about it, of course, right here on Hanging with Hennig in the coming weeks on 97.3 ESPN. We're broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. And don't forget, Hanging with Hennig is being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X. Place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey at 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We will check on the text board one more time coming up on the other side, and we will get the predictions for Eagles, Vikings tomorrow. Mel Reese, Mike Quick calling all the action here in your home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
This Saturday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It's not just a potential SEC championship matchup. This game has national championship hopes on the line. Lane Kiffin's fifth-ranked Ole Miss Rebels head to the hedges in Athens to take on Kirby Smart's ninth-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Join Brett Dolan and the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta. It's Georgia hosting Ole Miss.
It's College Football Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by
First Bank of Sea Isle.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Celebrate the Touchdown Trade-Up Sales event now at Matt Black Kia. Bring us your trade and get up to $3,000 over book value with the purchase of any new Kia. Plus, drive today with 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months and 0 payments for 90 days on every clearly marked Kia in stock. Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released. If you have a job clearing $450 a week, then we want to get you approved today. And with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy, you simply can't make a mistake at mattblackkia.com. Call 215-703-8526 for details. It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop fall savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Frigidaire. Get ready for a season of hosting with the Frigidaire Stone-Baked Pizza Oven. The only oven that reaches 750 degrees for restaurant-quality pizza in as little as 2 minutes. Start making hosting easier with fall appliance savings today at the Home Depot. Only when using Stone-Baked Pizza mode. Offer valid October 2nd through October 22nd. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Automotive Avenues, your family-owned, pre-owned dealership is growing and now has a second location in Sewell. Automotive Avenues brings the power of wholesale to the public. They make financing easy. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. You are still approved. Find out why Automotive Avenues has won customer satisfaction awards for the last 8 years. Discover why everybody loves Automotive Avenues of Sewell on Delsey Drive. Or check out their expanded inventory now at automotiveavenusnj.com. And don't forget, go Birds!
Right now, when you buy more carpet at the Home Depot, you save more. During our Buy More, Save More event going on now. Upgrade your carpeting with top brands, then let us install it for you with prices starting at just 49 cents per square foot. Select from a wide assortment of carpet to fit your room, lifestyle, and budget during the Buy More, Save More event at the Home Depot. Offer valid October 16th through November 2nd, 2025. Base price for standard installations only. Excludes Traffic Master and stock carpet. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Who is right? You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
We're going to finish the Hanging with Hennig show with another three-man weave here on 97.3 ESPN. Nick Earnshaw back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Alex Berrardis and I hanging with you at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. And don't forget the game day specials tomorrow for the Eagles game. You got to try the tailgate tray, smokehouse sliders, jumbo wings, Philly steak egg rolls, fried pickle chips for just $29. All this food on one tray. And, of course, the game day beverages, Miller Lite drafts, $3.50, Miller Lite pitchers, $12. You can get a bucket of Surfside, Stateside, High Noon, or Sun Cruiser for $45. Don't forget about the game day Bloody Marys. If you had the chef's skewer, I highly recommend that here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Marmora. Nick Earnshaw back in the 97.3 studio. We're going to start with you. What do you think the Eagles are going to do tomorrow? Can they take advantage of no Andrew Van Ginkel? Will Kevin Patullo get his head out of the stand? Will the Eagles win on the road in Minnesota tomorrow? Why and what?
Berrardis, Hennig, great show as always. Listen, I think it's going to be another ugly game. All right, we're still going to be complaining after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to be complaining all week long again. But the Eagles are going to find a way. No Van Ginkel. My dad's very upset. He's a Vikings fan, so this hits home for me. No Van Ginkel. He's very upset. I think the Eagles win this one close. It comes down to the wire. I think it's going to be a weird game. It's going to end up 28-27. Birds win. I see a defensive touchdown as well.
Nicky Earnshaw doing my Billy Schwein impression.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I do disagree. I do think the Birds are going to come out on top. I can't believe I'm falling for this, but I think they're going to correct it. I think they had those meetings. They're going to come together. I'm calling for a 27-13 Birds.
Wow.
I'm saying the running game's going to figure it out tomorrow.
Dominant.
Wow. Well, before I give my prediction, I want to remind everybody, don't forget, we talked to Leah Lewandowski earlier in the show, and she'll be part of the Boxing Insider Promotions action-packed event at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, Friday, November 7th. Don't miss out on Super Welterweight Justin Figueroa, who will be on the show next week here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Won his first championship belt back this summer. The stacked card includes undefeated heavyweight from Abscami High School, Bruce Selden Jr., along with rising star in the women's boxing ranks, Leah Lewandowski, along with internationally top-ranked heavyweight Otto Whalen. They all are back in action Friday, November 7th. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. You do not want to miss this action-packed event Friday, November 7th, inside the Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, presented by Boxing Insider Promotions. Guys, I think the Eagles are going to figure this out. I think it's going to be a game where Philadelphia is going to put on their big boy pants. They're going to be mature. They're going to grow up. I think Philadelphia's going to win the game, but I don't see it being a high-scoring game. I think what Dashawn Hendricks mentioned earlier, Carson Wentz is going to find a way to ruin this game for the Vikings. So I have Philadelphia winning the game on a Jake Elliott winning field goal, 23-20. Birds win in a game that's going to make half of the South Jersey, Philadelphia area go need to see their doctor for heart medication.
That was more my question with you, Nick. I was more Carson Wentz, 25-plus points for that Minnesota offense. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be close. I think there's going to be some weird stuff in this game. That's what I'll say.
Well, thank you, Nick Earnshaw, back to 97.3 ESPN studio. Thanks to Leah Lewandowski for joining us. Andy McNamara, as always. Dashawn Hendricks joining us on site for part of the show. And the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner, Gino Torretta. Coming up on 97.3 ESPN, 3:30 p.m., the Ole Miss versus Georgia game tonight at 7 o'clock. Flyers hockey tomorrow, Eagles, Vikings, following Billy Schwein in the locker room. Billy will be at Pascal Beach House, Spring Team 12 to noon. I'm Josh Hennig, and it's been Hang with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork bring you all the exciting play-by-play action